Chat, what could go wrong? Oh, I'm not crying. Oh, I'm not crying. Oh, I'm about to have a hernia. Ah! For those of you who don't know, this is the most controversial video in Genshin Impact history. Candybbug has made this video called Was Genshin Always This Weird and Bad? It has 560,000 views. I have not seen it at all. So we're gonna watch it. We're gonna react to it, see if she's made any valid points. Keep in mind, if we disagree with something this person says, disagree with what they're saying, not with the person. You know what I mean? Don't send them hate. Do not bully them. If they make a dumb argument, you can say that was dumb. But when you start attacking the individual for stuff that is completely outside of the video, that's not good. That's no bueno.
Say that while I play Genshin frequently, I'm certainly not a lore expert. It's also worth pointing out that Genshin lore only gets more confusing and convoluted as time goes on, so that might factor in as well. I might get stuff wrong. You can feel free to correct me about anything in the comments, but I will do my best.
Okay, so far a cute little intro, bro. Cute music.
Let me just start by saying that Genshin Impact is one
so far. Listen, I know I'm pausing right off the gate. I feel bad if they're getting like an insane amount. Like some of the stuff I've seen is crazy. No one should get death threats for anything whatsoever.
My favorite games. I know that there's a lot to be said about Genshin and that Genshin fans are kind of a meme.
Hey!
There's a lot of valid critiques to be thrown Genshin's way. For example, like many gacha games, they use a very predatory business model, and Hoyoverse makes millions of dollars off of FOMO and by fostering people's gambling addictions. And I would argue Genshin is actually worse than a lot of other Hoyo games too, because it's not as generous.
I feel like that's balanced by the fact that how many 4 stars Genshin gives out. And also, I'll keep playing.
My understanding, other games from this company have made up for a lot of Genshin's greed by giving away more free characters and by making it easier to obtain materials to level them up.
Comparing gacha games is so... you get lost in the sauce, though, because, like, for instance, some of those games haven't released, like, a 4-star in year. Stop pausing. Chat, I'm going to be pausing throughout the video because I'm reacting to it. If you want to watch the video without any pauses, don't watch the stream. I'm sorry.
Meanwhile, Genshin refuses to adapt even after over 5 years of updates. The resin cap is still only at 200 with no resin
Resin should 100%. This is a valid point.
Overflow system, and the weapon and talent ascension materials are still only available for a few days each week, which is an outdated system that serves absolutely no purpose.
The purpose could be to make it so you play every day of the week. I really don't know why that's still a thing. I think it should be removed as well.
But despite all of those flaws, Genshin kind of stole my heart in the beginning. I had never played a game like this before, meaning a gacha game. This
is a great video! This is a great video so far! Chat, what could go wrong? What could go wrong? Clipped. This is a great video so far!
Oh, how the pity system works.
It's cute! She's using mother flipping Dragon Spine OST! How could she lose me?
I did a 10 pull whenever I had fates, and I didn't save them at all because I wasn't keeping up with any upcoming banners or anything.
Okay.
And I would spend my primogems equally on both intertwined and acquaint fates because that seemed like the financially responsible thing to do. I shudder to think about it even now. But when I first started back in October of 2020 during Klee's first ever banner, none of that mattered because Genshin was pretty magical early on.
Genshin is still magical, especially after Nodcry. Natland 2 was magical, and Fontaine, bro. Genshin's still very magical. It's just a lot of people have, as normal people do, have grown out of a game. And so they don't feel that magic that you first did when you first playing, but it doesn't have to deal with the quality of the game.
Not only was it special because back then, you really didn't have to worry about power creep. You could pretty much build any character you wanted if you liked them.
John Yoon! Wait, he's still very powerful. What do you mean? What do you mean Why are you throwing up in this graphic?
But there was this feeling of newness that came with starting out in 1.0. This open world was laid out before you with two beautifully designed nations. The music was, and still is, so gorgeous and immersive. Playing with headphones and just listening to the soundtrack while running around with your favorite characters was so lovely.
Honestly, one of the top 10 things to do in the game is to play with in-game music and to actually appreciate it. It's actually 30% of the enjoyment of the game is the music. It's amazing.
There were little puzzles to solve and stories to tell, all backdropped by a beautiful landscape.
That's still a thing.
The story told by the Archon quests was relatively simple, but the characters were interesting and so lovable that they gave the quests life in their own way.
Still a thing.
And then there were events like the first Lantern Rite and the first Wind Bloom.
The most recent Lantern Rite is actually as good, if not better, than the first Lantern Rite. The one with Hu Tao? Oh, wait, no, that was Zabai. Sorry, the one before this, the one with Hu Tao was insane. Zabai was good too. I'm not talking about Zabai.
Don't get me wrong. I think there have been some really good Lantern Rites in recent years. The one featuring Gaming comes to mind. But I really don't think that the sheer innocent joy that came with these events early on will ever be matched in the future. And plus, I think that Genshin has kind of forgotten about Windbloom. But like, the cutscenes were so beautiful. Getting to see what all of these characters in Liyue and Mondstadt were up to during these times of year.
This still happens.
That cutscene of all the characters walking around Mondstadt together spawned so much shipping, and I was absolutely there for it, just like everybody else was. Following this, we had Inazuma, Sumeru, and Fontaine. Again, all beautiful nations with so much potential for exploration. They encouraged you to look in every nook and cranny. There's so much lore to be found that you might never see it all unless you peruse.
Guys, we're like 10% in. This is great. What is everyone's problem?
The Genshin Wiki. One of my favorite examples of all of the records and notes you can find are about Ildodore, and they're scattered throughout Sumeru. Just discovering how immensely evil he was made me so excited to see what they would do with a villain like that in this story. And we will get to that. But even if the story occasionally got dull, and I know a lot of people struggled with Inazuma, believe me, I have problems with it too, I know I could always count on seeing a character I liked. When Inazuma was boring me to death in the middle, or when it was busy underdeveloping Raiden A, I could at least maybe see Kazuha sometimes, who is still...
I don't think Raiden was underdeveloped, bro. Unpopular opinion. That was kind of like, her character was very detached and reserved, and it kind of fit. Like, there are undeveloped characters in Genshin. I don't think that's the Raiden Shogun.
One of my favorite characters in the game to this day. A gacha game relies on its characters
Kazuha based.
Like almost
Her favorite's
no other
Kazuha?
type of game does. If you want people to pull for them, they have to appeal. And most of them did. They had beautiful designs and interesting personalities.
Nuvaland! Oh, yes! Sorry.
Sealed the deal. So yes,
and
Genshin
Navia
is one of my favorite games. But I'm also its biggest hater. And I know what you're gonna say. You're just nostalgic. That's the only reason you think it was better back then.
No, there's valid complaints. Some people are nostalgic, but there are valid complaints if they're valid.
But I have proof. I mean, why else would I make a whole video essay on an unestablished YouTube channel if I didn't have proof?
True.
So, was Genshin always this weird and bad? No, it wasn't. And let me tell you why.
Oh, Natlan. Oh, poor Natlan, bro. Natlan is the tank of Genshin Impact, bro. It's taking all the aggro. It's taking all the aggro. By the way, unpopular opinion, if Natlan released, like, after Inazuma, people would glaze Natlan. It's kind of overhated, boys. It's kind of overhated, boys.
So, when we talk about bad Genshin, we have to talk about the elephant in the room, Natlan. In case you're unfamiliar, Genshin bases its
To be fair, Natlan does have issues. There are issues. I do understand the people who didn't like the immediate vibe switch of Natlan. I had expectations for Natlan, and it fell below it.
on real-world cultures in terms of visual inspiration, the names of the characters, and the nation's customs. Mondstadt is based largely on Germany, Liyue on China, Inazuma on Japan, and so on. Natlan, similarly to Sumeru, is based on multiple real-world cultures, including Mesoamerican societies, Polynesian cultures, and the cultures of African peoples. It's
Mualani, the GOAT, by the way. I love Mualani so much.
hard to pin down what they were thinking when they picked out all of these places, each so different to represent just one nation in the game. I'm certainly not the person to listen to on if this is bad representation, but I will say I do find it odd that the regions based on parts of the world where historically many black and brown people have lived are a mishmash of many different cultures, and that the characters are whitewashed versions of these people. It just gives me pause, to say the least.
That's a valid. That's a valid.
Too,
Genshin is like so good at like. Genshin is so good at like representing diversity of cultures, except like when it comes to like that one detail. So, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. Which is valid. I would love a more diverse cast of Genshin characters in every aspect. You know what I mean? And Genshin's good at doing it. Like all the different cultures and everything. But yeah, that's a valid criticism.
Understandably poorly received by fans, at least in the United States. I'm not really sure how other parts of the world reacted to it. It's easy to see why though, because it's the same reasons that I didn't like Natlan. The landscapes are fine, but aesthetically, a lot of Natlan...
Fine! The landscapes are the best in the game! Like, okay, the landscape of Natlan is one of the best overworlds in the game. Second to maybe Sumeru. I know a lot of people don't have Sumeru as one of their favorites. I think Sumeru's world design is an entire AAA game in itself. It's so good. Economy up there, the chasm.
Doesn't mesh well with existing aesthetics of the game. And one of the major problems people had was
the motorcycle
access
incident
to modern technology and concepts like motorcycles, flying guns, rollerblades, and DJ sets. I'm not even necessarily mad at the idea of having more modern tech in Natlan, but the problems lie more in the execution. First, Natlan made a point to set up an aesthetic style for Natlanese technology, like that within the ancient Sacred Mountain area, but then they only used it in that area. If Mauika's motorcycle or Shilonen's DJ set looked anything like this, and not like sleek, modern variation...
That's not a bad point. I think they could have had I think they definitely could have had a smoother... Like, you know how all the Mondstadt characters look like they're part of the Knights of Ammonius, chat? I feel like you could have done that with the Natlan technology. And to the people where I understand the, that's because that's Dragon Tech and Natlan Tech are two different things. No. Chat, you gotta keep in mind when people are talking about this, a lot of people think they're talking about like the lore details of it. The lore details don't matter. Like, it's straight up the vibes. It's the thematics. It's how it feels. Like, you can lore explain anything. You can lore justify anything in Genshin Impact. People aren't arguing. Well, some people are arguing like the technology point, which you shouldn't argue the lore of why technology exists in Genshin, because anything can exist in Genshin if they write it that way. It's fine. It's whatever. The main theme was the vibe switch, because before Natlan, it never felt as, I guess, I don't know, sci-fi-y. Before Natlan, it was like, it always felt like a Dungeons and Dragons fantasy. You know what I mean? Even with this Akasha stuff in Sumeru and the mechas in Fontaine, it still felt like Dungeons and Dragons adventure. You know what I mean, chat? Whereas a motorcycle feels a lot... You wouldn't see a motorcycle in Dungeons & Dragons. And that's a vibe shift. It makes sense in the lore, right? But it's the vibe shift that caught people off. And people will argue a bunch of stuff, but they won't realize that that is what they're actually have an issue with.
Of those objects, maybe they wouldn't have felt so out of place. And another problem with the tech is that no one else in Natlan, other than the playable characters, use it at all. You don't see any other Natlanese people rollerblade.
I think you do. I think you. I'm pretty sure you do.
Or driving vehicles. They probably wouldn't feel so out of place if other people in the 6 tribes had access to this stuff. There is perhaps no location in Natlan that is so out of place.
For instance, okay, back to the real quick on the Natlan technology bit. You know, something that did better with the technological vibes than Natlan was the moon. The moon base, I don't know how they did it. It did feel sci-fi-y, but it felt so like grounded in like that Dungeons and Dragons vibe. The vibes of the moon, going to the moon, didn't feel like that modern. You know what I mean? And that's crazy technology, right? You're going on a spaceship, but it still feels like fantasy. So if they captured that same vibe with all Natlan character technology, I think a lot of people who have issues with it wouldn't have issues with it.
As the Easy Breeze holiday resort. I did love the lore that this location provided for Bennett, but everything else about it is so ass, dude. It genuinely feels like a different game to watch.
Okay, hold up. You're losing me a little bit. You're losing me a little bit. Easy Breezy feels out of the game. Every summer event and every event like half of the events we've ever gotten is this the same exact vibe. Every summer event.
Walk around this resort. There's a huge slide in the shape of a Caholosaurus, a dark ride a la Disneyland, a field that looks like a fucking Wii Sports golf course, and like a music festival area with a dance-off stage. I
understand how it's distinct and different than something we've gotten, but that's a good thing. That's what keeps a game fresh, by adding new regions. They also added, is she going to touch upon Bakunawa? One of the coolest Easter eggs ever added to Genshin Impact in this area?
Cannot stress enough how immersion breaking it is to explore this area. Have there been silly summer themed areas in the past?
Yes.
Yes. But none of them have ever had an aesthetic on par with this one. I mean, the Golden Apple Archipelago just looks like it was taken straight out of Mondstadt or
Okay, Apple Archipelago is the GOAT. One of the greats. It's so good. It's so good.
In terms of design, while still looking very fantastical, with impossible landscapes that could only be created by a mage of incredible power like Alice. Unfortunately, the visual aspects aren't Natlan's only faults.
Okay, if you don't like the summertime resort, that's okay. That's okay. I enjoy it. I don't think it's a problem. I guess if you don't like it, I
and many others also found the lore and quest of this region to be pretty lacking too. We'll start with the basics. Each nation in Teyvat has a divine ideal that is represented by the Archon.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
far, we've been introduced to 6 ideals of 7: freedom, contract,
6,
eternity,
7!
wisdom, justice.
I'm sorry.
And war. Most of these, at least to me, represent a good idea of what a divine ideal should be, something that a god is supposed to uphold in their nation. Sometimes upholding the ideal leads to conflict in the region. For example, in her upholding of eternity, Raiden Shogun sealed her borders and stole the ability to use elemental magic from her people, all for the sake of keeping Inazuma the same.
Raiden's depiction was very good.
At the same time,
Raiden's depiction was very good.
The concept of eternity. She locks herself away to practice hundreds of years of meditation and uses undying puppets of herself to.
Wait, didn't she say that Raiden was? Hold up. Didn't she earlier say that Raiden was undercooked? And she's glazing her right now. That's okay. That's okay. It happens. To
exact her will on the people of her nation. It's honestly very upsetting the way that they rushed through her arc so much, because I think she would have made for such a compelling character otherwise.
Okay. She brings it back up. Fair.
Now think about Mawika in the same way, with regards to her divine ideal, which is war. How does she represent war? Well, she's fighting a war against the Abyss,
eternally,
like everybody else in Teyvat. Yeah, maybe they have it worse than other nations.
They're the front line. They're eternally fighting at war with the Abyss.
Still, what happens when the war ends, which it does at the end of the Archon quest. It's not like Mawika is some battle-crazed maniac. At most, she's just kind of thoughtless and reckless in her actions. Do you see how war doesn't really work as a divine ideal?
Damn. Thoughtless and reckless interactions.
And least of all with Mawika as its representative. Also, it's a nation of war made up of 6 different factions, and yet there's absolutely no conflict between them. It really just doesn't make any sense.
Okay, I think if you went into Natlan and you wanted more conflict and war, and you were hit with the vibe switch, not switch, but the vibe of Natlan is very different than that conceived notion. I understand if it left a bad taste in your mouth if you were going in like really wanting conflict at being the nation of war, because the vibes are probably the most carefree, happy in the entirety of Genshin.
6 different factions, and yet there's absolutely no conflict between them. It really just doesn't make any sense. This is why I personally always thought it would be cool if the Pyro Archon was a villain to her people. Maybe she makes them fight each other, gladiator style for her.
That would have been cool. It would be cool if one of the Archons was actually evil, because it's good to have variety in storytelling.
Her own entertainment. And then maybe we would have a better rebellion storyline than Inazuma with an Archon that's completely irredeemable, because we certainly know that the Cryo Archon is
Saritsa calling. True.
gonna get redeemed in some way if she's ever going to become playable. We will also touch on that in a later section in more detail. Instead, in Mawika, we have an Archon who is a Mary Sue. Ironic when she's the only Archon who is actually a human and would likely have the most flaws out of any of them. The thing
Calling
is,
Mawika a Mary Sue. What does she have to say?
is very flawed. She is extremely irresponsible and brash, even when it will put the lives of her entire nation at stake. Her nation is at war with the Abyss, and she's like, well, best thing I can do for you guys now is go to sleep for 500 years and hope and pray that the heroes I need will appear to me when I need them. What? That is crazy of you! And yet the game tries to make me feel bad.
Okay. I did enjoy the Natlan Archon quest. Chat, I know you can justify all the struggles. This is where people get this argument, Ron. She is arguing the lore. You're arguing the lore, but both you guys are not arguing the lore. It's the vibes. You know what I mean? It's the vibes, baby. Because yes, technically she did. I understand why people would play the Natlan Archon quest, because the thematics of it, like, after, I did enjoy it, right? But I feel like it fell short of its potential. Even if you took the exact same story, because I just looked back on how I felt after Sumeru, Fontaine, Nodcry, and I felt like I was much more emotionally invested in those Archons and those characters than I was, like, Mawika, right? And it's not because of lore. It's not because of, like some laundry list of lore reasonings. It's the thematics of it. It's the way the story played out. You know what I mean? But no one ever talks about that. Chat, do you agree or do you disagree? Like, and I don't know what they need to do. Like, differently. I didn't think it was, like, awful, though. That's the thing, right? I just thought it fell short of its potential. Like, I noticed I, like, had a lack of attachment for Mawika's struggle, even though I wanted to. You know what I mean? Just because of the way the quest played out. But once again, so that's why I understand why people have a negative vibe towards Natlan's Archon quest, but the earlier Archon quests were like the same quality as this. So that's where I get a little confused.
Bad for her for doing this. The game, instead of pointing out how terrible and risky this plan is, just focuses on the fact that Mawika had to say goodbye to her family in order to put this plan into action. Dog, I do not care. The writing doesn't focus at all on what's important here. It just makes her out to be the perfect Archon who's good at everything and refuses to fail. There were no memorable parts.
That's the thing. I don't think the Archon quest is, like, I don't think it's written to do that. Like, she does. It's just the way it played out. It's just the way it played out. But the thing is, if one Archon quest series, like, you don't like as much as the others, that doesn't mean the game is bad, bro.
Of that quest for me, except for maybe the final battle.
No memorable parts, brother. When you were flying around Fontaine, fighting different factions, choosing who to save and who to let die, that was pretty memorable, bro. For instance, one last note I'll say on Natlan, like, the vibes of the last 10 minutes of it were amazing. With Capitano and Renova, a lot of the Capitano Moika flight was really cool. Although the thematics of how that fight, I feel like even that fight being as phenomenal as it was, the thematics of it could have been better. And by that, I mean, I don't mean the actual fight. I mean, like, the buildup. You know what I mean? Because literally, Capitano just kind of spawned in and fought Moika. Like, there could have been, like, a buildup, a really in-depth conversation and stuff. That's the main theme with Natlan, is, like, it just had some weird thematics, some weird vibes in how it with, like, and it could just be the pacing. I don't know what it was, but it had a lot of great moments too.
The characters here can make up for this nation's incredibly boring and stupid story. For me, all of them were so nothing. It boggles my mind that so many of y'all are shipping these MFs together when they barely have interesting relationships with each other at all. I feel like
Kanisha Mualani, Shalonen and Moika, Traska and her dead sister, Sitlali and Traveler. Best developed characters in Natlan, I feel like Loki are Granny and Traska.
all of their personalities could be explained in one word. Mualani is bubbly. Kinich is standoffish. Kachina is insecure. Veresa, she eats a lot. Oh, and Mawika. What can be said that I haven't already touched on? She's good at everything. She's the perfect Archon, and even her reckless...
Okay, Mawika does... I understand, like, it would have been nice to have... to view, like, more of Mawika's human struggle. But also, there's a lot of positives about Mawika that are really cool that we're not mentioning.
Plan for saving her nation isn't questioned by anyone that matters or treated by the game as risky at all, even though it is.
I do wonder, chat, and if I post on YouTube as well, I would say, and once again, I think it was just, you could take the same exact story, and it's just the way you experienced it in Natlan. I don't think it had to do with the individual characters. But I did feel probably the least attached to the Natlan cast than I did Fontaine, Sumeru, Liwei, Nodcry. There were specific characters like Granny, Traska. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm flashbanging everybody. Do you agree or disagree? I think the lack of voices affected Natlan a lot. I don't know how to describe it, but I just think it was the thematics of the storytelling. I think that's what it was. Do I think it was that severe of an issue? Not really, but I do understand when people have their complaints about it. And by the way, if you truly love a game, complaining and having criticisms about it is a completely healthy, if not better thing to do than to just glaze everything. You know what I mean? Yes, agree, of course. If anything, it gives your glaze, if you have criticism, it gives your glaze more credibility. Complain impact? Bro, I'm just addressing the video. All right, continuing on. They focused they focus too much on individual characters and not much on the character relationships. I don't know. I don't know why I felt so differently after Fontaine than I did with Natlan's cast of characters. I don't know. I don't know what it was. I think there's a magic sauce. But for instance, Nodcry is the greatest Archon Quest series in Genshin. Full stop, in my opinion. Anyway, we'll keep going. It is also very trendy to poop on Natlan, so that's why a lot of opinions you have to take with a grain of salt.
Kachina is insecure. Veresa, she eats a lot. Oh, and Mawika. What can be said that I haven't already touched on? She's good at everything. She's the perfect Archon, and even her reckless plan for saving her nation.
Oh, you know what? Natlan did not have Kaveh, though. So that's going to be -2 points.
Isn't questioned by anyone that matters or treated by the game as risky at all, even though it is. And in the end, she just defeats the Abyss with the power of friendship. It reminds me of that TikTok where they had the cutscene with all the heroes side by side with the clip from My Little Pony Equestria Girls. The writers
The power of friendship argument is, like, I get where people are coming from, but oh my gosh, bro. That was a cool cutscene!
Out of their way to make Mawika seem like the coolest person ever, when in reality she has, like, no personality. Like, can we talk about how her trailer was just this cringe ass?
I did enjoy Mawika's trailer. I did expect something a lot better, in my opinion. Chat, do you agree or disagree? I enjoyed I like Mawika, but her trailer, like this versus Nicole's stomps this every time. But my preferences, I love trailers with like serious tones and good lore. This is more just vibes.
Music video where all of the nation heroes are playing instruments in a band. Oh my god. It's like literally unbearable to watch. And it's not like any of the other characters do anything to move the plot forward. This region doesn't even know how to treat its lore relevant characters as such. Auroran and Eon-san are the Natlan heroes from the Masters of the Nightwind and the Collective of Plenty, respectively, but I guess they're not.
Auroran's story was really cool until, like, he totally got sidelined at the end, which kind of made me sad.
Important enough to be the focuses of the Tribal Chronicles. Instead, those honors are given to Seatlali and Veresa, the latter of which we hadn't even met during the Natlan Archon quest. She was literally invented just to take Eon-san's place.
She was invented to take Eon-san's place? Huh. Cause why? Low-key, Veresa's trailer is amazing, bro. Veresa has a lot of really cool. I know it became super popular to poop on Veresa, but so many people switched up on her, as they do with everything in Genshin. TikTok will complain about it for 2 months, and then 3 months later, they'll all switch their profile pictures to the person they're complaining about. Can't we be for real? But the Eon-san was disappointing. Like, her character just being the gem after being like after her being the banner character for the Teyvat trailer of Natlan. Eon-san, I thought Eon-san was going to be our first chibi dude, which would have been cool. But her just being the gem is just like, ooh. Like, her versus, who are the other banner characters? Linny and Lynette. And then, I'm trying to remember for the nations. Was Sumeru Tonari? Zhao was the first. Diluc, Ayaka, Ningguan. Yeah, they all clear Eon-san. She was done super dirty.
I wonder why that is. In any case, most of the important actions are driven by Mawika and
the Mawika Traveler bit was sick. Once again, the thematics, like, it would have been cool to have cool dialogue, or something that would have really been cool for Natlan would to, like, have an actual villain character. Like, imagine if there was, like, some personification of the Abyss that they could have, like, some sort of exchange with. That would have been sick. Oh, whoopsie.
So none of these characters feel important at all. They're just accessories to, again, the power of friendship storyline. But like I said, that obviously doesn't work unless these characters feel like they have meaningful relationships with each other, which they don't. Needless to say, I did not pull for any of the Notlan characters, even though their combat mechanics are in the meta right behind lunar reactions.
Dude, they're not anymore, bro. Not anymore, bro. Also, they totally have interactions with each other. Aoife, Auroron, Sitlali, Traveler. Sitlali, Auroron's interactions are hilarious. Mualani, Kanish, Mawika. To be fair, if you only played the Archon quests, you don't really get to know Kanish that well. Kachina and Mualani.
The only one I really wanted, and only just recently got on Inefa's rerun, was the 4-star character Aoife, and that's mostly because he's a gorgeous cowboy. On the topic
Aoife's
of
awesome!
Notlan characters being in the meta, Notlan is also when the shill started getting really bad. Soon enough, the Abyss
shills
and other endgame modes were tailor-made.
Like Hoyo shills? Okay, hold up. Using the term shill when making a good faith argument about any gacha game. Ooh, red flag. Red flag. Meta shill? Using the term shill? That'd be like if I was making my reaction and review of Wuthering Waves and I used the term Kurobot, bro. It's like, ooh, this is red flag. Is it talking about meta shilling? Is that what she's about to talk about?
For Night Soul mechanics, with some bosses that are nearly impossible to beat without Notlan characters in the team. Just started a trend that only gets worse with time. One that leads us directly into...
Nod cry. The Genshin villain problem. Okay, part 1 wasn't that bad. Chat, like, you can disagree with some of her points about Natlan. Once again, if you're disagreeing with her and your justification is the lore, I don't think she's talking about the lore. I mean, she's also using the lore. It's not about the lore, guys. It's about the vibes. It's about the vibes. And I understand some people's like not liking Natlan and them not liking the vibes. Like, I get that. Like, I don't agree with a lot of it, but it's whatever, you know? Now, Nod Cry's perfect, so time to shield, baby. It's okay, we can stop defending her takes. Chat, I want to give every person, like, the benefit of the doubt and to understand their point of view, okay? You know, and to help you guys understand their point of view as well. And we treat all individuals with love and respect. Amen? Amen!
It's hard to forget how hyped people were when the first trailer for the new area of Tevat, Nod Cry, was released.
Nod Cry's marketing was one of the best of any nation. That mood event was so hype. The trailer, honestly, the trailer is better than Shneznaya's. And I love the Shneznaya trailer. I mean, we got Renova and the Saritsa in it and the beautiful Min. But I still think the Nod Cry trailer was better. It peak. And this is what I've been talking about the whole time. It's about the thematics, chat. It's about how it feels to watch the videos, to see the characters, how it feels, you know? The inexplainable feeling. And Nod Cry knocked the thematics out of the park. It's actually perfect.
Nod Cry is a sub-nation of Snezhnaya, the last of the 7 nations we are supposed to visit in our search for our lost twin. So naturally the lore is getting pretty intense here. But the reaction to seeing so many lore-relevant characters in one trailer was immense. We got first glimpses of 2 members of the Hexens.
Oh, this is so peak. I'm not crying. Oh, I'm not crying. Oh, yes. Yes.
Alice and Nicole, the Grand Master of the Knights of Favonius.
This was so good.
Who we'd only heard about in passing until this point.
And then the moon event.
And 2 Fatui Harbingers that hadn't appeared on screen before.
Oh, Polonia.
Sandrone and Columbina. Every look we got was very fleeting, and it was hard to
It was
glean
amazing.
any info from this trailer alone.
It was so good.
But people were still so excited.
True.
Imagine what Nodcry has in store if there's so many important characters here.
It was peak.
Ones that we've only heard whispers about prior. Well, Nodcry is better than Notlan by a long shot, but would you hate me if I said that this also disappointed me? Don't get me wrong,
How? Nodcry's like, okay, let's hear her out. Let's hear her out, chat. Let's hear her out.
Nodcry in a lot of ways was kind of a positive return to form for Genshin.
Return to
First of all,
form! It amplified the entire storytelling experience of Genshin Impact. The Nodcry Archon Quest series is the highest level of quality plus quantity, greatest pacing, cutscenes, level of stakes to internal Nodcry lore and exterior overworld lore of the entirety of Teyvat. It is the greatest level of storytelling Genshin has ever achieved. If every Archon Quest series continues after Nodcry's footsteps, we're going to be eating so good. It leveled up the entire game. And I love Fontaine. I love Sumeru had a phenomenal moments. The Wanderer storyline was phenomenal. Fontaine, Nouvelette's one of my favorite characters in the game. One of the best written characters in the game. I loved Leeway. I loved Inazuma. But, okay, anyway.
Characters actually feel like they know each other past, teehee, we're all best buddies. I know and
Oh, what? I know and Anefa have... Oh. Okay, the relationships between the characters, I understand if you had a criticism for that for Natlan, but for Nodcry, that is unequivocally false, brother. I know and Anefa are one of the greatest duos in the entire game. They are phenomenal. Nefer, Llama Flins, Alua, Flins everyone, Nefer Yehoda Nefer, who else? I'm probably forgetting somebody. I'm sorry.
Anefa are so sweet. They know each other past, teehee, we're all best buddies. I know and Anefa are so sweet. Varka and Flins are hilarious together. And Nefer and Lauma have some of the craziest Yuri subtext since Beidou and Ningguang.
True.
These characters feel more real as a result of their relationships with each other.
Okay.
I could enumerate more about them based on how they interact with others. Crazy, right? It made for a more interesting quest,
Okay, wait,
too,
she was saying it
one
was
that I
good.
could more
She was saying it was
easily
good. Okay.
become invested in. Nodcry did a lot of stuff right, but the true problem with the region unfortunately falls on the back of one character for me. One that was so highly anticipated, not just by me, but by so many people in this fandom, but she delivered so little. Columbina. I know, there's a lot of Columbina lovers out there, but I'm sorry. There are so many reasons I cannot stand this woman, and part of it is because she's a complete disappointment. You might be familiar with the way that people thought Columbina was going to be a creep.
Okay, if you wanted a scary version of Columbina, and that's not what you got, and you're a little disappointed about that, that's fine, but that's where that should stop. For Columbina alone, for Columbina alone to ruin the entire region of Nodcry for you is crazy, girl. It's crazy. Headcanon? The headcanon doesn't matter, chat. Like, if people had a desire for Columbina to be creepy and to be different in that way, that's fine. Like, that's whatever. If you're disappointed about that, that's okay. But then you, like... I feel like if you're just a normal person, then you're like, okay, well, I'm just going to take Columbina for what she is now. And then you enjoy this version of her character. You know what I mean? Like, you can be disappointed with the initial direction they took, but then still enjoy this version of the character. Because she went on Columbina was a great character. Is a great character. Would she have been cool as a scary version of, like, Scary Angel? Yeah, that would have been cool. That would have been cool. And if people are disappointed about not getting that, that's fine. But then, I mean, I feel like this is what I do if I'm disappointed with, like, a direction a character went. You just quickly are like, oh, okay, it is what it is. And then you enjoy like the character as like a different, like whatever the actual character is. You know what I mean?
Character, maybe leaning into the biblically accurate angel aesthetic. There was a super popular theory that Columbina was a member of the canonical angel race, so this would make sense in a way.
Like Nicole.
This creepy aesthetic for Columbina was also explored in a beautiful animation.
That was a great animation. And remember, this was all speculation. Also, by the way, early discussions, people get into the weeds about like, oh, did it retcon? Did it not retcon? Blah, 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 blah. Like, did they go back on the version they wanted? Like, like, this is all theory. Like, this is all headcanon. Or, oh, they retconned Columbina. Bruh. At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. Everyone's yapping, and it doesn't matter. It's just like, oh, okay, people want this character this way. This character's actually this way. Okay. Or, oh, this character has always been this way, and the character turned out to be that way. Okay. It's like, you know what I mean, chat? Did that make sense, what I said? It would have been cool to get a version like this, but we didn't. Could they have wanted it early on? Could they have hinted at a creepier Columbina? Maybe. Who knows? Who cares? It really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Maybe they originally thought about this and then they decided to scrap it and go with something else. It's like, okay, c'est la vie, bro. That happens all the time in games. In a game this big, that happens like probably way more than you think it does. And it happens less in other areas.
For Hoyo Fair called Stairway to Heaven by Kieru. The imagery is so spooky, and it uses
video,
like
by the way,
analog horror elements. And if you haven't seen it, you should watch it after this. Oh my god, it's amazing. And this assumption that Columbina would be scary was not for nothing. People are always like, you just had an image in your head of what you wanted Columbina to be, and now you're disappointed that it didn't happen. And even if that is partially why people are disappointed, there is still in-game evidence and evidence in lore-relevant YouTube videos to support what people thought about her. Let's go over some.
But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Like, people, game companies will change the design of the characters as they release all the time. Think of like Kingdom Hearts, right? People love Kingdom Hearts. Stuff gets retconned or like explained out of nowhere in Kingdom Hearts all the time. All the time. It's as convoluted AF, and everyone loves it. Everyone loves the Kingdom Hearts story. Things change, like, all of a sudden there'll be an explanation for something that you definitely know was not in the first game. That happens all the time. That happens all the time. It's just whatever they choose. If you're a little bit disappointed by that, and they switch it up, like, whether they did or didn't, it's like, okay, it doesn't matter.
Shall we? 1.
Sure.
Columbina's appearance. Let's go over what we knew she looked like from our first look at her. The Winter Nights Lasso trailer.
She's playing Mario Kart OST.
She has black and dark pink hair. Colors that do
Mario
not
Kart
suggest
OST.
something delicate or gentle. However, these dark colors are paired with Columbina's winged headdress, made of white feathers like dove wings. Not only does this mirror her name, Columbina, which means little dove.
Sorry, I was not paying attention. We're talking about her appearance? Okay.
It bears the appearance of a seraph, a type of angel in Christian theology. Seraphs typically have 3 pairs of wings and have the role of singing the praises of their God.
John, stop. You're telling me you can hear this Mario Kart soundtrack and you can't head bob a little bit? I cannot resist, bro. That song is a bop. Wait till it hits the main.
Considering Columbina was a Fatui harbinger, maybe the praises that she was singing were for the Tsaritsa. Columbina is also clearly wearing a black and pink outfit under her Fatui coat.
Wait, where is it?
Something that they very evidently dropped in her final design. Finally, Columbina has her eyes covered, suggesting maybe an unfeeling or uncaring personality, or maybe some mysterious power that lies behind her eyes. 2. Columbina's
She's looping the Mario Kart song without the chorus! Okay, the worst crime of the video. Worst crime of the video.
In the trailer, she is singing a soft lullaby, smiling gently while laying along the coffin of her recently deceased fellow harbinger.
I need to not focus on this. I can't. I'm so distracted.
It shows that she kind of has this detached attitude regarding death, especially of her own colleague. 3. What other characters say about her? Airy character in Columbina.
The Fatui Harbingers are ranked by strength, and I have no idea why that girl is number 3. I'd test my skills with every Harbinger who ranks above me if I had the chance. But when it comes to her, something just doesn't feel right. Anyway, you should be careful around her.
Even Child sounded scared to challenge her to a battle, and he loves fighting with strong opponents. Scaramouche also suggests staying away from her and implies that she is not as innocent as she seems.
Let me ask. What should you do if you were to encounter a damsel who is oblivious and innocent at any given time, and unconcerned and unfeeling in any given situation? If it were me, I could at least challenge her to a fight. But if it were you, with your conscience, I would stay away from her.
To be fair, chat, I feel like if you really listen to the voice lines, they probably did have a different direction for Columbina, like a little bit. Or they probably did have a different, like, direction for Columbina, and then they just switched it. Which is like, whatever. Like, these do lean. I mean, they could apply to her now, too. Like, I feel like it's a 60-40. I feel like no matter what, though, you can lore justify why this applies to current Columbina, and you can also lore justify why it doesn't. Do you know what I mean? This perfectly describes her. Oblivious and innocent at any good time, unconcerned and unfeeling. With your conscience, I would stay away from her. Yeah, it does. It can. But also at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. I feel like the OP's grasping at straws and making assumptions. My thing is, like, why, like, if you were unsatisfied with how Columbina turned out, why does that detract so much from your enjoyment of Nodcry? Like, if anything, you'd just be like, oh, okay, like, I wish she turned out differently, and then I'm going to experience this version of her.
The way that I've seen people defend
and this version of her is good.
Is by saying that Child and Scaramouche are bad at reading people, and they didn't know her that well, so of course their assumption would be wrong.
Okay, yeah, unbother your opinion, chat, you will be able to lore justify. People will always be able to find lore justifications for everything. Like, for Columbina being, like, forecasted as evil angel, or for her being forecasted exactly as intended, people will be able to justify anything, no matter what, on the internet. And it's what at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter.
They just knew that she was powerful. Dude, you are not getting at the reason why these voice lines are put in the game. Yes, they are useful for showing the relationships between characters and what characters think about each other, but they should also be used to provide hints and information about characters that we haven't met yet.
True.
If you put in a voice line about Columbina not being what she seems, then people are going to listen to that and assume that she's not what she seems, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think people just aren't willing to admit that Genshin has bad and inconsistent writing sometimes. 4th.
I don't think it's that bad, though. Like, let's say they completely switch up the design of Columbina. Like, that happens in games, like, all the time, and like, the disappointment comes from 2 voice lines? Like, it doesn't matter. That's not bad storytelling, bro. They probably left some of those voice lines hella ambiguous so they could figure out later. There's so many characters in this game. There's no way they have fully fleshed out every character who's ever been mentioned. And that's okay. It doesn't matter.
Her rank. Columbina was long known to be the 3rd Harbinger. It's also been known for a long time that the closer they are to number 1 in the rankings, the more powerful they are. Columbina being number 3, especially right below Dottore, who is notably unhinged and evil, suggests that she is not only similarly powerful, but also similarly devoted to her work as part of a major villain faction. I cannot stress this enough. Clearly, there is a
Well, but all the Harbingers kind of have their own motive, right? So, like, Dottore's, even with every other Harbinger, you see Arlecchino's motive, you see Tartaglia's motive, you see
wealth of evidence to support the theories that people had about Columbina. I'm tired of people pretending that it wasn't there, and I'm tired of people pretending that it wouldn't have worked tonally. There is literally a villain who does human experimentation. There was literally a genocide in Conria. But no. Instead, we learn that Columbina is actually a...
Okay, so Shirley, since she didn't like this about Columbina, she's super happy that we got one of the greatest villains in the entire game, Rerir. Right, guys? And then we actually got, like, oh, Rerir's so good.
Moon goddess? Okay, sure. But also she's actually just a damsel in distress, like her name suggests. She's timid and soft-spoken and gentle, and she's shy at first, but eventually opens up to you, and you are the most special person in her life, even though you've known her for maybe 2 weeks. I cannot stand how...
She hasn't really... I mean, that's... She... Like, she never had a friend who treated her as, like, an equal, like Aether does. And also, she's not really a damsel in distress. Like, you do save her at points, but she saves you and the nation at points. And you talked about how you didn't like Mawika's, like, powers coming out of nowhere, and, like, a lot of her, like her being this Mary Sue, like, good at everything character. Columbina, like, has weaknesses, and then also, like, you witness her, like, you actually have to go through the work of her acquiring her power again or whatever, and, like, being able to use it to usurp Dottore.
Willfully
they explored it in game, which was really good.
About Columbina, pretending not to see the fan service that is sitting right in front.
The fan service? Fan service! No! My brother in Christ chat, it's time to introduce you to another concept. Almost everything is fan service. Flynn's? Fan service. Varka? Fan service. Columbina? Fan service. Maneva? There's fan service there. Any character you can almost think of, for better or for worse, is servicing you in some capacity, whether it be romantically or in some other way. Do people sometimes wish there's less or more? Yeah, it's whatever.
Of them. She hides behind the traveler when she doesn't know how to talk to people. Aww. She likes to eat snacks. Aww. You get to feed her during Moon Prayer Night while the English VA is moaning into the mic every 2 seconds. Aww. She's so weak. She can't do anything.
Like, I understand you having this problem with Columbina. There are so many characters. This happens throughout the entire game. There's moments like this. Throughout the entire game, bro. Lisa's borderline assaulting us. Remember, guys, do not personally attack her. If you disagree with her argument, disagree with the argument. Don't personally attack the creator. Otherwise, you're not being good. Okay? I'm reminding you. All right, Chad? Also, yeah, it was a little fan servicey. And I understand if people are like, oh, I wish like it didn't go like this much. But at the end of the day, it's whatever, you know? It is what it is. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Herself and probably would have died if the traveler likes to eat snacks. Aww. You get to feed her during moon prayer night while the English VA is moaning into the mic every 2 seconds. Aww. She's so weak. She can't do anything
That was
by
not a
herself
big deal,
and
bro.
probably would have died if the Traveler hadn't rescued her. Aww.
If the Traveler hasn't rescued... Bro, that's every character in the game! That's every character in the game! She would have died if the Traveler hadn't rescued her? Wake up! You're in Thejonathon! Everyone would be dead if Traveler wasn't there! We're rescuing everybody! Also, she rescued us! She saved us from the Torre, bro. With power that was actually earned. That you actually had to struggle to get. And that we actually got to go through the reasoning of. Which is what we want, right? Well-written characters whose powers don't come out of nowhere.
People like to pretend that it's somehow misogynistic to point this out. Again, purposefully ignoring that Hoyo is writing her this way.
That's misogynistic to point out fan service? Huh.
Intentionally. Guys, I kid you not, she literally turns invisible for a significant portion of the Archon quest. I promise you, that is not feminist. And it's not even like the moon goddess thing makes any sense. They even...
I lost the plot. What
come up with some last-minute reason why she covers her eyes. There was a time when I refused to look upon the world. I believed it was full of nothing but lies and falsehoods. I wished to hide my feelings, seal my heart, until I could return to my true home. Oh my god. If this is what they originally planned to do with her, which it wasn't, then she was a goddamn waste of a Harbinger slot. It is...
We're getting into a little bit of passionate territory. But you like this makes her distinct from all the other harbingers, which any sort of kind of like which is a good thing. Like it's good to have diversity in a cast of characters. It makes them cool and interesting. And she arguably has as good of writing as Tartaglia. It's just different vibes. She has better writing than Tartaglia. It's close. She's had way more screen time. I'm sure we're going to get more of sweet Tartaglia later.
Damn waste of a Harbinger slot.
Brace yourself.
It is so clear to me that she was never their original intention for the moon goddess.
Okay, if that was the case, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, Notcry probably... I know people are saying, like, oh, Notcry was always planned, or, oh, Notcry was, like, a last-minute thought. Notcry was probably decided to be in development, like, 2 years before its release, maybe. But that doesn't matter. Like, as long as it's good. That's all that matters. At the end of the day, as long as it's good, that's all that matters. If it tells a good story and it adds to the greatness of Genshin Impact, that's all that matters. And Notcry is phenomenal. It is so good.
Her design suffers so bad as a result of Hoyo's ineptitude. I mean, look at these colors. They don't go together at all.
What? Okay, you're losing me, girl. Okay, like, her design is good. Wait, what was that last sentence?
Result of Hoyo's ineptitude. I mean, look at these colors. They don't go together at all.
Is it because of her hair's different than her outfit? Bro, that's like distinct. You don't want monotone colored characters. Like, that's not styling, brother.
Oh my god, she's so beautiful. No, she's not. Her design is two different designs smashed together.
Not at all. Bro, there's correlations like the weens here. Even like the stuff on her leg matches these. Is it just her hair color? This is such a non-issue.
Together. In fact, these colors only look okay together when they purposefully give the outfit more purple tones, which they could have just as easily.
Oh my gosh, brother. Oh, I'm so glad people like this don't design characters for games, because that's how you end up playing a game where every character is like, oh, you're a water character, entire outfit neon blue, hair neon blue, eyes neon blue. Oh, you're a Dendro character? Oh, green. You are green. Like, if you followed that design philosophy, Kaveh would never exist. Low-key, someone's design who I think is slept on, although I shouldn't bring it up to make this point, D-Luke. Her design is good. Is it the best in the game? No, I wouldn't say so. But it's good.
Done in the game model, but they didn't. Even her constellation is a mishmash of her Fatui aesthetic and her goddess aesthetic. We have both the traditional portrait shape that all the other gods in the game get, and also her symbol of the crying dove, just shoved right in.
Shoved right in, like the lyre? Well, I need to see more. I mean, to be fair, he uses a lyre, but she has doves. What? This is such a... I feel like we're kind of grasping on straws here. I feel like the reasonable take would be like, hey, I think Columbia was designed this way. I would have liked her better this way. I didn't like the direction they took her. And then you're like, but... And then you just move on from that. You're like, okay, but that's okay. And then you just play the story and you experience the character as it's given to you, which her character is pretty good. Her character is pretty good, bro. Very entertaining.
And at the bottom, I completely believe
that would be a normal reaction,
or that this character at least was rewritten at some point, because there is no indication that they had any semblance.
Okay, but why does this matter? Why does it matter?
Of a plan for such a highly anticipated character. And the most frustrating part about all of this to me is that Hoyo actually leans into several of the things that people thought about Columbina, but only enough that it feels like they're teasing and laughing in the face of their fans, as if we read into it too much or something. In her burst, she grows wings like an angel, and these wings...
Oh, these shots are so sick in this cutscene. Oh, I'm glazing. I'm sorry, chat. I'm glazing. I'm distracted by the footage she's using, and I'm glazing. What is it? I wonder what she thinks of Nicole, because Nicole is amazing.
Bear resemblance to a Seelie court, both echoing the theory that she is an angel, but she's not an angel. In her character trailer, she performs a ballet, which calls to mind for me the very popular fan design in which she was a ballerina.
Wait, but that's going in entirely... Oh, yeah.
Something that the ribbons on her hands and feet might suggest. And it kills me because this trailer is beautiful. The visuals and the choreography are gorgeous. The symbolism of Dottore as the pianist who's controlling the dance by...
Okay, see how she's enjoying this trailer? Now imagine if she took her discontentment with the way they took her character and then just was like, yeah, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. And then just enjoyed the character from that moment forward for what it is. She'd be so happy. She'd be so happy.
Playing the music, oh my god, I love it. But it would be even better if she was a dancer or a ballerina of some kind, because she isn't. Even though that would have made a lot of sense thematically with her singing. Perhaps
her dancing as a... I don't think she has to be a dancer to dance in her trailer. Because it's thematic. That's the point, right? If anything, it's more basic for like a dancer to just be dancing in their trailer than to be doing something else. It would actually be worse storytelling if that was the case.
Even though that would have made a lot of sense thematically with her singing. Perhaps the strangest example...
Dottore should be a pianist, you're right! Dude, I let him tickle my ivories. I'm sorry, what are we talking about?
Of Hoyoverse leaning into the theories about Columbina is that they have the singer Aurora wearing a dress
this
with
was so...
eyes.
Oh my gosh. Oh, this is so good, bro. This was so good. Nodcry's marketing was so good. Was so good.
On it during the Welkin Moon concert, which suggests the biblically accurate angel thing. Maybe I'm reading too much into this.
Yes.
This
you
last
are.
one.
You are, bro.
Especially,
Oh,
but
this
I
last one?
cannot take it. It is so frustrating because they are so close. But no, Genshin is allergic to having playable characters who are morally gray or irredeemable. This
Okay, that is... Every once in a while, she'll touch on a point that would be good for the game. That's fair. Like, it... At any point, chat, having a more diverse cast of characters is great in regards to morality, in regards to a bunch of different stuff. So having a morally gray character, Arlecchino, everyone, yeah, Arlecchino would be the closest, but Arlecchino still feels like a good guy. You know what I mean? She's not good, by the way. I know, but she feels that way. Scaramouche is a murderer? Chat, no. You're getting it twisted. Not the lore justification. With how they feel. Morally gray? Who's morally gray currently? Arlecchino she's not morally gray because she's actually moral. She does some interesting things for like good reasons. And you can make the argument either way. But Zhongli is said to slaughter countless gods. Chat, Yai Miko. Yes, but some will say Pantalone feels not evil, but she is probably evil. It's the same. Lowen feels a little morally gray. Thematically, he feels morally gray. Lowen is not... I haven't done a story quest. Raiden is low-key more morally gray. It would be nice to have a character that definitively feels that way, though, when you're playing them. You know what I mean? An irredeemable playable character? Whoa. That'd be crazy. Like an evil... Injo would be amazing. A chaotic... Talk about morally gray character. That guy gets it. Injo would be awesome. A morally completely serving his own interest. Nefer's kind of more... No, Nefer ends up being a good person. Like, I know she justifies it, but at the end of the day... I don't know. I feel like we could go in circles. If you guys think that some characters are morally gray, who I don't think are, it's okay. It's whatever. It doesn't matter.
Leads to what I lovingly refer to as the Genshin villain problem. Other popular gacha games, like Cookie Run Kingdom, literally...
I did not expect a Cookie Run Kingdom thematics comparison with Genshin Impact. That's crazy. That's great. What are you about to say, girl? What are you about to say, girl?
We have morally reprehensible or canonically dead characters that are playable. What is stopping Genshin from making their villains stay villains, but also become playable?
Okay, that's two different things. If Genshin wants to only have, like, goodish playable characters and doesn't want villain playable characters, that's whatever. I guess it's a choice. I think it would be cool either way to have a character who's, like, not always a good guy be a playable character, like, definitively so. But having villains stay villains is a different idea altogether, and which is good. It's good to have good villains, and Genshin does have, like, Genshin has an amazing story. I love the story in Genshin. It does have a little bit, it does lack good villains, but if anything, you should praise Nodcry because it introduced one of the greatest written villains in the entire game. Rerir is phenomenal, is a phenomenal villain. He is so good. And then it took a highly anticipated villain, Dottore, and it completely knocked the ball out of the park with him. Like getting Tri-Lunar God Dottore and then us defeating him, but not really defeating him. And we can get into the Sumru axe. I feel like that's a separate topic for a different day. But
Columbina is just an embodiment of a bigger problem in Genshin. They do not want to have any characters who have questionable morals become playable.
Okay,
Most of the
but if you're saying, was Genshin always this weird and bad?
time, this ends up going in two ways. The first is that the character is redeemed and then becomes friends with the Traveler before becoming playable. This is what has happened to every playable Harbinger thus far. Tartaglia fights any.
The notoriety of the Harbingers does become a little lessened when they all when every single one becomes buddy with Traveler. I think that's a valid storytelling. Why clip it there? Because I want to see Tartaglia's cheeks, bro. I think it would be nice if there was some Harbingers who like actively held Aether at a distance and like actually opposed him. Because that's just good storytelling, having that sort of diversity, you know what I mean, chat? So to be fair, that is a valid concern, but at the same time, Wander is one of the best written characters in the game. He's up there. You know what I mean? It would be great if, like, because a character, the closer they become to Traveler, they lose their notoriety. You know what I mean, chat? It'd be like if you played Final Fantasy VII and you had Sephiroth, like, on your team the entire time. But to be fair, Arlecchino is still so cool and had an amazing moment in the Notcry quest. Wander, the same. Wander's one of the best written characters in the game, although they still call him Hat Guy, which, please stop. It's time to stop, bro. We cannot be going into 7.0 watching our boys bleed out in Snezhnaya, trying to fight Renova. We're Traveler lost an arm. We're fighting to resurrect Capitano, and Aether needs help from Wanderer to fly out of there. And he goes, "Heck, guy, help me!" Bruh. Please. Can we call him Skara? Can we call him Wanderer, please?
Anything that moves, but he respects the Traveler even though they have different motives and values. He only ever wants a friendly spar with them. Scaramouche has no one else who understands his past and is connected with the Traveler in that way.
She's kind of touching on an issue that all gacha games have, though, a little bit here.
Lakino is a ruthless woman who is grooming children to be a part of the Fatui.
Oh my gosh, bro. Arlecchino's marketing was so good. Arlecchino's anime was so peak. Still one of the greatest design characters in the game. She mogs.
But it turns out that the House of the Hearth is a lot less sinister under her rule. So that's okay too, I guess. And Columbina.
This battle was never about fate. It's about friends, family, and the home you
This is the
still
most
have.
obnoxious thing I've ever experienced in my
Okay. This line was a little corny. It was a little bit of a cornball line. But everything surrounding this moment was peak. Everything surrounding this moment was peak. Sandrone got stabbed. She just got stabbed. This line's a little cheesy, but it's just like whatever. You know what I mean?
Family.
Did you miss that she said Arlecchino grooms children? I did hear that. I mean, training orphans for the Fatui's purposes. I just I get what she's trying to say, so that's why it's just like, it's whatever, bro. It's whatever. She means like grooming them into soldiers. I'm pretty sure is what this person means. Like I don't want to we don't want to be disingenuous to like. It's the delivery, bro. Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing. What is grooming? It's like training up in a way. Okay, we're not. We're not getting. I can't. We're moving on. We're moving on.
become
bro.
playable. This is what happened to Signora way back in Inazuma, and most recently it happened to Dottore.
Happened to Senor. Wait, what?
Hearth is a lot less sinister under her rule, so that's okay too, I guess. And Columbina,
This battle was never about fate and the home you
This is the
stole
most
from
obnoxious thing I've ever experienced in my life.
the second
Bro, why isn't she talking about how Dottore literally usurped the power of the gods, bro? It was so sick. And then the fact he still lives.
way it goes is that the character cannot be redeemed and is therefore killed off so that they won't become playable.
Okay, this is two separate things. An evil character dying so that they won't be versus playable villains are two separate arguments taking place right now. Genshin has a villain problem because they don't have enough villains who stay like fully villain and don't die. That's a fair argument, actually. That's not a bad argument. Because low-key, like, having an omnipresent looming threat feels so good in a game, right? Like, Rareer's one of the greatest written characters in the game, and his worst part is the last 5% of his story. You know what I mean? Low-key, it would have been cool if Rareer either stayed after his goal and didn't, like, or, like... It was weird. It was a weird vibe switch when you caught him up in whatever that lunar zone was. It felt weird, but having Rareer still be like a could be a threat, could come in somewhere would be great. Would be awesome. But also killing characters is good. Is good for storytelling. Is good for stakes. But that implies that you have to kill good guys too, which Genshin doesn't do. Which Genshin needs to do, fun fact. Because that would actually just enhance the storytelling of the entirety of Genshin. And any sort of, remember chat, at the end of the day, any sort of criticisms I'm having of Genshin Impact is because I love this game and want it to be the best version of itself.
This is what happened to Signora way back in Inazuma, and most recently it happened to Dottore. This was honestly shocking to me, especially
As of 6.5. But it was very clear that Dottore didn't die.
considering how much of a fan favorite Dottore is. Let me be clear, Dottore is a horrible person, and he should not be redeemed. We should be able to understand his motives without forgiving him for what he has done. He has imposed so much pain on so many people in the game, and his morals are extremely...
How are we not talking about Rareer at all? What's happening right now? How are we talking about villains and we're not talking about Rareer at all? We've been in this not cry section for 20 minutes, and we haven't even mentioned Rareer. What is happening?
corrupt, but he's still very, very interesting, and you can sometimes almost understand where he's coming from while still not
Understand where he's coming from? I mean, okay, Nodcry's depiction of Dottore was really, really good. Was really, really good. Probably like a 9 out of 10. I do think they could have done a little better on like Dottore's motivation. Like, why does he really want to break the rules, right? They kind of tap into it. He has a lot of really cool discussions, really cool dialogues with Aether, which is awesome. It would have been great to not to justify him, but to know why he's doing what he's doing. Good villains aren't just crazy, right? Except like the Joker. I guess the Dottore would be kind of Joker equivalent. Like Madman wants to just like, okay, anyway, let me keep.
while still not condoning his methods, which I must stress is what makes a well-written villain. People love this guy's character.
Yeah.
But now, he can never become playable because as of right now, he's dead. Little did you know.
But then comes back and then they killed him again. But that's a different topic. That's a different topic of discussion.
That there is a secret third option, which is what they did to Capitano, a combo of options 1 and 2. They redeemed him and then still killed him off anyway. What?
Okay, Capitano's not dead, bro. Capitano's most definitely not dead. Capitano's definitely coming back.
a strange decision that was. Again, for a character that was extremely highly...
Wait. But this is... You're saying this is what you don't want. He was redeemed and then they killed him. Wait. What? But you've been complaining about them redeeming people. Why is this an issue?
1 and 2. They redeemed him and then still killed him off anyway. What a strange decision that was.
Wait, this isn't this... We've just been complaining about redeeming characters and making them playable, and now we're complaining about redeeming characters and making them not playable?
Again, for a character that was extremely highly anticipated, they just threw in all this tragic backstory for him at the very end of the...
It would have been so good if they touched on... Okay, one thing about Natlan and Capitano, like I said earlier, the last, like, 5 minutes of Natlan were peak, bro. This cutscene is... That moment with Capitano, the throne rear, greatest moment in Natlan. If they tapped on it more throughout, they kind of did, but thematically, like maybe you went on a quest as Capitano or something. No, that's crazy to say. If you take the same exact Natlan story and they had the thematics and storytelling of Nodcry, Natlan would have been just as good. Does that make sense, chat? Natlan had a little bit... I don't know what the secret sauce was that was missing. I did enjoy it, but...
Conquest, and then he fucking died right after that, so none of it mattered at all. It's like they don't understand...
I mean, he's technically both living and he's not dead, bro. He's not dead.
And their own visual cues. A perfect example of this to me is Escoffier. Maybe...
What is happening? Why are we... how did we go from talking about villains in the entirety of Genshin, not mentioning Rerir in the Nodcry section, and now I'm looking at Escoffier?
Again, this might be just me, but even she gave me creepy vibes in the silhouette teaser from the live stream where they were...
Escoffier gave you creepy vibes? With that hat? I mean, I could kind of see how you could the knife and the tail, I guess, like
revealed upcoming characters for 2025. She has this hair that sticks out, the shape of which largely resembles horns and conveys a sort of like wildness of her personality.
Okay.
She has
Not
a devil's
horns.
pitchfork tail that's positioned up where we can clearly see it, and she's holding a sharp knife up. Like, she looked...
If the hat wasn't there, maybe I could see it. Like, but this is just like whatever.
Psycho to me. And
okay.
I was intrigued. And at least that would have been interesting and different. But no, not only is this design ass, but it's also incredibly misleading. She's just kind of a tsundere who's very particular about her food.
Bro, characters like that happen in every game, though. Just like characters. I'm losing the plot here.
I don't understand why they're like this, guys. One of my favorite comments that I've seen about this that just perfectly embodies my feelings on the matter is this from the unofficial Genshin subreddit. They're allergic to morally gray, redeemable, or just bad characters because they don't know how to write anything that isn't a shitty isekai where the main character wins using the power of friendship and his harem.
Oh my god. Ugh. I'm just gonna keep playing the video.
Oh, speaking of harem.
No! Oh, bro. misogynistic.
It's an anime gacha game. You have to expect fan service. Okay, I know that. But Genshin used to be different from other games in its genre, and I mean that genuinely. There used to be a much better ratio of female to male 5-star characters than many other gacha games, because so many gacha games are targeted at male audiences who aren't perceived as being interested in the male characters. And there were sexy character outfits, especially on the women, lots of detached sleeves, short skirts, also known as the coochie flap, thigh-high socks, or boots. But they
Chad, if you see someone wearing a short skirt in public and you call it the whatever that what she just said, bro, you're getting arrested. You're getting arrested, bro.
were nowhere near as bad as they are now. These women are nearly naked now. And not only does that make skirts, also known as the coochie flap, thigh-high socks, or boots, but they were nowhere near as bad as they are now. These women are nearly naked now. And not only does that make me mad and uncomfortable from a...
I could see a little, like... Genshin has always had fan service. That's what people need to realize. Like, Mona, Lisa, I mean, you could probably go through other designs, too. And there's fan service for the dudes as well. It's just different. It's just marketed differently because Yelan, Shinha, Rosaria, like,
standpoint of being a woman who feels objectified just by looking at these designs, but also from a character design standpoint. I have quite a bit to say about the sharp drop-off in not only the quality of the...
I'm gonna be honest, I'm mad about the representation of how much Verissa we've gotten in this video without showing Mucha Lucha Verissa. One of the greatest marketing moments in the entirety of Genshin. Mucha Lucha Verissa. Please. It's just going to show her swallowing the burger, bro.
Genshin character designs, but also in the tastefulness of them. To show you what I mean, we can talk about some early Genshin designs to compare them to more recent ones. I think it's important to discuss the physical elements of these characters first before we discuss the fan service elements of their presentation, writing, and personalities, because the physical appearance is the most obvious element, but I promise we will get to the other stuff in due time.
By the way, I see just as many women simping for Nefer as I do men, if not more. Same thing with Flynn's and Varka, to be honest. I see just as many people simping for Varka from men and women. Same thing with Nefer. Men and women. Which I feel like no one brings up. I've never even thought about it until now.
Also keep in mind that I'm only going to be talking about female characters because most of the time, the male characters are almost always covered from chin to toe now.
Well,
AKA, the fan service is not equal opportunity.
I mean, you can make an argument for that, but also male fan service is different. That's why in a lot of games that have male fan service, like, people are still in suits. You know what I mean? It's am I crazy in saying that, like, male fan service doesn't just equal shirtless men? Does that make sense? Like lads. Like, those guys are dressed to the nines. But yes, there's moments, you know, there's moments. But it's just different. It's still fan service. It's just fan service in a different way. That's what people don't realize. Like, open skin isn't the only thing that's fan servicey.
One of the first characters I'll mention is Lisa, one of the very first anime.
I'm convinced she has self-esteem issues. My brother in Christ, chat, this is the last time I'm going to warn you. Don't go into personal attacks on this person. You can attack the arguments. You can make jokes about the arguments. But if you are going into personal attacks about another human being for a bad take, you're the bad take, bro. Please don't. Right?
Fan servicey characters element but I promise we will get to the other stuff in due time. Also keep in mind that I'm only going to be talking about female characters because—
Got it, I'll stop. Thank you. That's a great response to me calling out that message. W's in the chat. I appreciate that.
Because most of the time, the male characters are almost always covered from chin.
I just want to especially emphasize that, chat, because I know she's been being put through the ringer. And at the end of the day, like, whether she had good arguments or bad arguments, like, this is a person, like, putting a lot of effort into content. This is a human being, bro, who's having the weight of the internet thrown at her. She did enter the ring, to be fair. She did open the can of worms, but that doesn't justify, like, a lot of stuff.
Are almost always covered from chin to toe now, aka the fan service is not equal opportunity. One of the first characters I'll mention is Lisa, one of the very first—
I'm sorry, Nouvellette is so fan service to me because I love that man. I would get on all fours and bark like a dog, brother. He is the most attractive male to me. Luscious locks, beautiful suit. I'm sorry. I'm losing the plot. Chat, can I do a little rest?
You're introduced to in the game. She teases the traveler, she calls them cutie, and she's averse to doing any sort of work. Her character
she borderline threatens to lock him up and experiment on him.
design communicates so much about her, though.
Lisa slander, I can get behind this. Lisa slander, I can get behind this. Let's go. We're finally turning this around. Delete her from the game. She makes me uncomfortable. I'm joking.
Less.
Her design is good.
Her hairstyle, which is very loose and almost
low-key, her witch design is good.
Looks like it's falling out on one side. Shows
also,
us
Risley is very fan servicey. Okay, wait, hold up. We need to talk about one more thing. None of the men are fan servicey. Risley, like, with the handcuffs, the POV grabbing you, stepping on you. He's got the tie, got the cake. Al-Haytham. It's just different. Okay, anyway.
Communicates her element of electro, but also a sense of importance, luxuriousness, and magic. Her classically styled witch hat also conveys the latter, of course. Yae Miko is similar to Lisa in terms of teasing personality, although Miko can get a bit more cruel and self-indulgent with it. She has a sharper eye shape than Lisa's gentle round eyes to indicate this part of her personality. Her outfit is also a stylized version of a traditional Japanese shrine maiden outfit, giving her the required amount of gacha game sexiness while also showing her spiritual—
the required amount of gacha game sexiness. The call's coming from inside the house, brothers. You got it. Every character is going to be fan service, brother.
importance in Inazuma. Her design being more complicated than the other Shrine Maidens also signifies that her role is the most important of all of them. Her hair is the color of a sakura blossom, and she has cherry blossom motifs in her clothing, again emphasizing her—
I think Yamiko and Lisa's design are actually good. Like, I agree with that.
Japanese inspiration, but also her connection to the sacred sakura of Inazuma, which is deeply connected with her element of electro.
Who's she gonna slander?
is one of my favorite Liu An character designs.
She loves Xinyan! Oh, chat! I can see clearly now the rain is gone. Based AF! I love Xinyan!
Because it combines traditional elements of Chinese clothing styles with Xinyan's rock aesthetic, so you immediately know by looking at her what she represents.
But also Xinyan can go against the technological argument, right? Because she's wearing fishnets and has an electric guitar.
Xinyan wears lots of dark colors, spikes, and fishnet, features common in punk or alternative clothing styles.
Based.
All of this is accented by red and orange, obviously
where we
representing her pyro vision, but also her passionate and fiery personality. Her hair even looks like it's glowing from the inside, which I always thought was such a cool detail.
It is,
However,
I agree.
Xinyan also has some very subtle nods to her Liyue culture. So while she mostly represents a counterculture in Liyue, she still maintains cohesion with the other character designs in her region. The last of the older character designs that I'm going to touch on is Navia's, probably my favorite Fontaine design
older?
Personally. This design is basically a sluttier version of a traditional French aristocratic gown, but it still covers most of her body. Navia's design
is amazing.
wealth. It is full of ruffles and jewels. She has these big billowy curls.
Are we going to talk about
She's got this
Sitlali?
big hat decorated with feathers. She brings along a frilly parasol. She also maintains connection to her hometown of Poisson with these ship wheels on her hips, as well as the canon theming of her elemental burst. Navia is also a very cheerful character, which her yellow color palette communicates. And she also has got these cute sparkles in her eyes that show that. As you can see, these designs are not only pretty tasteful in terms of gacha character designs, but they also do their job. They communicate information about the character, even if you knew nothing about them to begin with.
Okay, the title is Was Genshin Always This Weird and Bad? And we're pointing out some awesome design characters.
This is what makes a good character design, and it is ironically what many character designs in modern Genshin fail to do. Not only that, but they also get more and more boring and more insulting as time goes on.
Nicole is amazing. Varka is amazing. Flynn's is amazing. Durin is really cool. Who else has been? Zabai!
So let's take a walk through them, shall we? This ought to be fun. One of my least favorite recent characters is Sitlali. Again, I know.
It's always Granny. It's always Granny. All roads, all Genshin complaint roads lead back to Granny Itchley, the Satan of Genshin Impact, the harbinger of the apocalypse. Chat, if you don't like Sitlali's design, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. It's whatever.
Oh, a fan favorite, but
Is her design a statement of the entirety of Genshin Impact? No. That'd be like if I used Goro as an example for Genshin's design philosophy. Bud's wearing a two-piece and he looks like he's 16 years old. And he's the general of an army. Like, what's happening? You know? If you don't like a character's design, it's just like, oh, okay. It's whatever. Same thing with Columbina.
I'm sorry, I do not like her. Her design certainly isn't the most offensive of the Notlan ones. I just find her annoying. I do think
I like her design. Like the aesthetic, the Tron-esque aesthetic for and how it fits her area.
her English VA is very good at their job and that they do a great job with Sitlali's voice. But I really just don't like the character's writing. We will talk about that in a bit.
Okay.
One of the things I dislike about her design, though, is this goddamn leotard that she's wearing. This girl is literally wearing a thong. The sweater thing would go right up her butt crack. I cannot stand
Bro, I
stuff.
feel like you could point that out in like a character in every region though. Man and woman. Like I feel like there's always going to be there's always has been and there always will be stuff like this. You know what I mean?
Like this. Also, side note real quick, I have to pause to talk about the state of Genshin character trailers. Can we talk about how
Hey, you better talk about Sitlali. You know what's more morally wrong about Sitlali? Yeah. Oh, she's wearing this, she's wearing that. She's an alcoholic. She's throwing back bottles and bottles of beer and booze to suppress her emotions. Drunk driving is much more evil than a two-piece. Why are we talking about the real issues? Alcoholism and Genshin Impact normalizing alcoholism. You could die. Dude, imagine getting a beer with Beto, though. That'd be pretty sick. I mean, is it drunk driving if it's a boat? I'm sorry. It is, by the way. It is. Let me be clear.
this girl is literally wearing a thong like this. Also, side note real quick, I have to pause.
Chad, do you think I would look good in that? I could pull it off. Sitlali cosplay next stream.
I cannot
Confirmed.
stand stuff like this. Also, side note real quick, I have to pause to talk about the state of Genshin character trailers. Can we talk about how these videos use...
I know was this released? If we're about to go into how Genshin character trailers have been bad, Nicole's trailer alone is the greatest trailer Genshin has ever released. it is actually like God descended from the heavens and blessed my eyeballs, my retinas, and all of my senses. Nicole's trailer I'm resisting the temptation to stop what we're doing and to rewatch it right now. It's so good, and it's actually criminally underrated. But I think this released before she saw Nicole's trailer.
To be actual showcases of the character's combat abilities with like little...
Wait, stop! Did we go through a whole villain segment and not talk about Rerir? What is happening?
Elements of story sprinkled in. Ones that strike this balance well, in my opinion, are Nahida's trailer,
Oh, I thought...
Farina's trailer, and Arlecchino's trailer.
Okay.
But now, character trailers are either, 1, headache-inducing fan edits with these wildly inappropriate aesthetic choices, like Nefer's trailer or Seatlali's, or 2, music videos that make me feel like I'm going to implode from cringing, like Shilonen or Mawika's trailer. At most, these ones show the elemental burst animation. It doesn't tell you anything about what it's like to actually play.
Okay, Shilonen-san was a banger, bro. Shilonen-san was a banger.
The character in the video game that I'm supposed to be pulling for them in.
Wait, what? You want to see their play style in the... What is the complaint here? I'm so confused. Not Cry character trailers are so good. I don't understand what's happening.
Tell me how that's supposed to give me a good impression of these characters. Anyway, back to Seatlali's outfit. It's the same thing with Mawika. Her design features a zipper that goes all the way around between her legs up to her back. That can't be comfortable.
Dude, imagine having to piss. That'd be crazy.
Right? Especially riding a motorcycle. And also, what exactly does this design
I just realized Mawika is a Final Fantasy collab. All the zippers. There are elements. I love Mawika's traditional fit. I do like how distinct Mawika's outfit is, though. It is very distinct to the game. I loved the alternative gladiator outfits of Mawika. That would have been so sick to get in the game. Mawika gladiator outfit, like riding a dragon. Oh, a pyro dragon.
Okay, about Mawika, other than being a biker. Yeah, I guess she's got sun imagery to represent her Archon hood, but to me, her hair is the only thing about her design that gives me Pyro Archon. But then...
And her eyes. Dude, her eyes like the flaming sun. Also, are we going to talk about the fact that every Natlan character has a Night Soul mode that enhances the details of their entire outfits, and it's so stinking cool? Are we going to mention, since we're talking about Natlan's character designs, that like essentially you get 2 versions of every character and those detailings are actually so stinking sick?
All the way around between her legs up to her back. That can't be comfortable, right? Especially riding a motorcycle. And also, what exactly does this...
To be fair, though, if people don't like Mawika's design, I get it. That's okay. That's okay. It's okay for people not to like some stuff.
Design communicate about Mawika other than being a biker.
But just because you don't like something doesn't mean it's an overarching statement of like the entirety of Genshin. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's kind of the core of... Anyway.
Yeah, I guess she's got sun imagery to represent her Archon hood, but to me, her hair is the only thing about her design that gives me Pyro Archon. But then, you know, all of that still goes away when she fights and her hair lights up. And then we have Veresa. I was really excited about this design when I saw the silhouette in that same teaser we were talking about earlier.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, a girl that's a cow. Oh my god, that's gonna be so cute. I love these
It is
braids
cute.
and the big horns. I mean, I wonder what kind of color palette she'll have. Maybe like
Pink.
browns and greens, something earthy because she's a farm animal. Oh. Yeah. I mean, I guess that works too. Just kidding. I hate this design. One of my least favorites in the entire game. I just like... What was the
Dude, Veresa's playstyle is so fun.
point, dude? Why is she so, like, kawaii themed? She's got hearts and bows everywhere. She wears leg warmers and a cardigan. The skirt is pointless because it's too short to cover her ass. You expect me to believe that this is a lucha libre fighter? I know that luchadoras often You expect me to believe that this is a lucha libre fighter? I know that luchadoras often dress in similar silhouettes to Veresa. Veresa's outfit, but they didn't incorporate any elements of the culture that Veresa is inspired by, or the one that her name comes from. There are plenty of lucha libre fighters who incorporate elements of their culture into their costumes. They could have gotten really creative with it, but it's not like it even matters because we never even get to see her fight like a luchadora in the game. It's all just the food bullshit and falling on her ass all the time. It's especially frustrating because the animators have been getting really creative with the normal attack animations lately. They could have gone crazy with her and made her do insane moves, something like this.
Wait, she does have stuff like that in her combat. Ah!
Like I said earlier, I was interested too in Escoffier's design based on the silhouette, but I was also very disappointed.
I understand people have complaints with like at the end of the day, I do understand if people are like, I wish it was a little less fan servicey. That's totally fair. That's totally fine for people to say. I mean, I'm kind of that way too, where it's like I'm not playing a game with like people in bikinis for a reason, right, chat? Everyone has their own balance of like how much is okay, you know what I mean? And it's whatever. Like, I don't really care for it, but at the end of the day, I don't really care.
I was also very disappointed with this reveal. Not only does this outfit make no sense with regards to breaking up any colors or with this weird heart theming that she has, similar to Veresa. Again, I don't know why they keep doing this, but her outfit is literally just the sexy chef Halloween costume. She's wearing an apron with nothing underneath it. Not only is that insulting, but it's boring and it's lazy. You guys literally couldn't bother to design a shirt for her to wear under this apron.
I mean, we could point out Shinha. There's like other...
They would just rather put more effort into the detailing on her fucking stockings than design her a shirt. Skirk makes me mad in a similar way because they literally took an already very revealing outfit and made her more naked when she made the transition from NPC to playable character.
I feel like she looks less naked. Am I crazy? Am I crazy? Oh, it's because of the side? Her pants feel longer.
Lauma is one of the ones that makes me the saddest because I actually really love the way that she's written in the narrative. Her voice acting is so beautiful and gentle, and I find
Llama's
her quiet
character is
strength
goated.
to be really, really compelling. It just sucks because she would be perfect if she wasn't almost naked. For Lauma, I don't feel hatred like I do for Veresa because Lauma has good writing to make up for her design. I just feel bad for her. Like, oh my god, you
Oh,
poor
Llama's so
woman.
cool.
You're probably so cold and uncomfortable.
I mean, like, a lot of Greek, like, goddesses and stuff, though. Don't they have, like, similar, like, isn't, like, what's the god of, what's that one god? I can't even think of it. To be fair, she's based on the fertility goddess. Wait, she is? Aphrodite was who I was thinking of. Which isn't my cup of tea in terms of, like, playable design. But I understand it, right? I've played Hades. Have you ever played Hades? Like, half the gods are like this, bro. Not half, but...
Cloth covering her ass. You can't convince me that Lauma isn't meant to be sexualized by the game when she makes this face while bound by Rayrir. Finally, we have Nefer. Now, I don't really hate this design necessarily. I actually...
Rayrir mentioned, finally! We're at 39 minutes into the video!
really like the top of it. Her hairstyle is really cool. I love the cape and the vibrant gold and green colors, but it's just another design in this long pattern of just giving up on the legs of these female character designs. Not only does this white skirt completely blend into her insanely pale skin,
You know who doesn't give up on the legs? Zabai and Nicole, my goats.
but they also make no effort to give her some socks or stockings to balance out these colors or make the design more interesting. Like, I really love this fan design that not only gives her a darker skirt, but also some snake pattern.
That is cool, but you would complain about that too. My brother in Christ. That is cool though. That is cool, and that is sick.
And thigh-high socks. I really
She's
wish
a
that they
cat,
had
not a
leaned
snake.
into her
True.
snake theming more. As a side note,
Wait.
They'll
Is she? I actually don't know. She has. I feel like it's cat themes, right? Instead of snake. But there is snake-esque stuff.
It's always the same. A super detailed design from the waist up and absolutely nothing except maybe a thigh garter on the legs. Again, Columbina falls into this too. She wears this super detailed tiny dress, one that's so short it makes her legs.
I do think it would be cool to have more characters in full dresses and like with like pants and stuff like that, right? Like, I do think diversity in design in that regard is good.
Look obscenely long like a spider, and then she doesn't even wear shoes, just these
Arlecchino.
fuck-ass water orb heels because they couldn't bear to let a woman walk flat on her feet. And the way that these women are drawn sometimes is so stupid too. Even the character designs that I consider to be better than these suffer from the fan service. Even though I wish her skirt was longer to add some variety to the designs, I really like Mizuki's design, but
Mizuki is so fan servicey, bro. And that's whatever.
even though I wish her skirt was longer to add some variety to the designs, I really like Mizuki's design, but she literally shows her butt to the camera during her burst and in her official art. In fact, Hoyo only draws these characters in impossible poses.
She has a succubus tail that wraps around her leg. And she likes this design. This is all just preferences, bro. What's happening?
And more for the sake of making them more goonable. Literally, Mizuki is posed so you can somehow see her underboob and butt at the same time. They do the same thing with Mawika. Her back is arched so heavily just so that they can display both her cleavage and her ass. Veresa's also the same, plus she's making that face like, oh, you caught me, and I have food all over my face. Oh no! Oh my god. I hated saying that out loud. And see, Lali is literally squishing her chest so heavily with what? A stuffed animal? A pillow? That is not how.
Where was the clip? She said, and these designs give the basic sexiness of a gacha game. Where's the clip where she said that? Everything is fan service, bruh. The game. I mean, I also get people like not desiring this. I'm the same way. Like, I don't prefer it, right? But at the end of the day, it's kind of just like a preference.
And see, Lali is literally squishing her chest so heavily with what? A stuffed animal? A pillow? That is not how this part of the body works. This is only one of the anime fan service tropes that Genshin has increasingly leaned into over time. As the game progresses, we
Not only Genshin. I would say almost every modern game is doing the same thing. Fortnite, Marvel Rivals, Overwatch.
only get more and more characters that fit the tsundere.
I'm not saying that Genshin is fully sending it more so than they ever have. I'm just saying
Character to type. Oh my god. It's over, guys. We only get more and more characters that fit the tsundere character type. Oh my god. I can't fucking say
who are those kind of characters? We definitely had characters like that the entire time.
this. As the game progresses, we only get more and more characters that fit the tsundere character type.
It's
which
okay.
I
I struggle with
find
pronunciation,
annoying.
too.
Lali and
okay.
Sandrone are the biggest examples of this, but I would also argue that Escoffier falls into this trope sometimes. Somewhat related is the increasing number of characters who have very obvious crushes or similar devotion to the Traveler, all of whom seem to be women, ironically. Ayaka was a big one early on, but since then we've had
Zhao like takes you on so many dates, bro. you go on a lot of dates with the men too, brother. The whole like falling for the traveler thing.
Mizuki blushing around the traveler, and the game purposefully putting her into situations in which were meant to like
I never played
cutely
those.
embarrass her. It's clearly meant to have a teasing romantic tone to it. Similarly, Seat Lolly has a big crush on the traveler, made evident by being portrayed like this in her Valentine's Day art, and by all the times the game has given us very convenient plot-related ways to read each other's thoughts. Dude, this shit is painful to play. And then most recently,
bro,
we've
if she played the most recent one, bro, if she played...
had Columbina, who, again, has only one true friend in the Traveler, and she cutely hides behind you.
She has more than the traveler as a friend, though.
And you get to feed her. Again, these are all very romance-coded behaviors. The Traveler
They're
is
also all, like, just whatever, bro. It's just, like, a lot of games that do this. Like, there's also...
literally represented as her savior and dance partner in her trailer. It is a pattern at this point. Can we please let women have more interesting relationships with the main character?
Okay, men, like, we have the exact same... There's the exact same theme with men, though, too. Like, we're Wander's only friend, only confidant. Sticking Flynn's, Zhao. Oh my gosh, Zhao. Like, it happens. I'm just saying, like, it happens both ways. Like, and which is like,
than being their shy waifu all the time. And again, this fan service is never equal opportunity. The male characters never get to have interactions or relationships like this with the player. Why not? We also have
am I crazy in saying they definitely do? Like, there's been some moments, bro.
relationships like this with the player.
Zhao, Wander, Venti.
We also have character-specific tropes. Veresa, I'm getting to you now. She was tailor-made for the feeder fetish. I kid you not, in one of her trailers, they animate food going into her stomach, and her stomach, like, jiggles and stuff, and oh my god. It is genuinely one of the most sickening and uncomfortable things I have seen.
Chat, fun fact, when I saw that for the first time, I was like, I didn't even think about that.
Oh my god. It is genuinely one of the most sickening and uncomfortable things I have seen coming out of this company.
Yeah, you know what? I'll take 13 more feeder clips if I get one more Mucha Lucha Verissa clip of her slam dunking a law churl again. I don't like those cutscenes. Oh, dude, when she was wrestling the law churl was so peak. Getting a woman thrown down wrestling. W.
Her entire thing is eating comically large amounts of food. She has
And then kicking ass.
nothing else that matters to her character, to her personality, or anything about her. It's not like this would necessarily be bad on its own, but guys, she is literally a cow. This character is extremely insulting, and I hate her. And that's not even mentioning how she literally fights by falling on her ass. When you are playing her, she will fall and her ass will be facing the camera for multiple seconds before.
Dude, I know what needs to happen. I know what needs to happen. Don't worry, guys. I'll solve this. She needs to pull Verissa and experience what it's like to run around with her E for 15 minutes. Her entire view will change. The pure serotonin you get from running around sprinting at full speed with Verissa.
She gets up, and your eye is naturally drawn there because of her bright pink tail against her black skirt. And then when she gets up, she'll like dust herself off and be like, "Owie, that hurt. Shut up." And then we've got Nefer and her whole like clones thing, and the clones are like her servants, and she poses with them in sexually charged ways. Like she's holding this one's face and this one is laying in her lap. Like,
like, it's okay if you don't like fan service in gacha games, right? If you don't prefer it. I don't prefer it, for instance. Like, I prefer character. I don't like it. Like, I just prefer good character design, whatever that entails, right? But at the same time, women are allowed to be sexy. Is that okay to say? Like, I understand if you don't prefer it, but also I had the same, like, I knew, like, oh my gosh, sounds like someone's tapping on my window, bro. Wait, hold up, chat. I'm getting nuked.
I don't have to like spell out the way that this is incredibly fetishistic, right? I mean, Nefer literally does the stripper crawl across the table toward the camera in her trailer. She's meant to give femdom. And I mean, like, the clone's
Okay, are we going to talk about Risley? Are we going to talk about Risley, bro? Like, I do understand that it isn't equal, right? Just because of the way gacha games are.
basically served no purpose to her theming as a character. I think they could have taken them out of her whole thing and it wouldn't have made a difference to her kit or to her gimmicks. They literally only did it because they knew people would drool over it. Editing Aurelia here. In the process of making this video, Linnea has been released, and I just have to interject to say, what the fuck were they thinking with this character?
How? What is happening? What did Linnea do, bro? What did she do? Hey, maybe she doesn't like Geo. Maybe she doesn't like... Maybe she's about to open up some dialogue about how Linnea, the fact that Genshin releases a lot of supports that enable specific teams, and it doesn't feel good that you need Linnea for Zabai and the amount of damage her little
I feel like
little
a crazy
chud does.
person because I feel like I'm the only one who doesn't think she's adorable and in fact recognizes her for the creepy freak that she is. First of all, she clearly has absolutely no respect for living things that are not traditionally human. She keeps asking to touch and pet the Melusines as if they are not whole people. It's especially creepy because the Melusines are made to look like children. Having an adult character who is high-key obsessed with them and can't treat them as the people they are was a fucked up move on Hoyo's part. They literally make
What?
a point to emphasize the humanity of the Melusines and how they had to fight to be accepted in Fontanian society. And now we have a playable character who we are supposed to think is cute, harassing them and treating them as though they are pets. It's disgusting. Her trailer is sickening for the same reason. She fantasizes about being rubbed up on by Siegeween, who, again,
What is happening?
looks like a child, and Kirida, along with other Melusines and Nekomata. It reads as extremely fetishistic to me, which is a problem when the people that she's fantasizing about look like children. She chases these people around.
Oh mama, we're really stretching. We're really looking for something to be upset about here, brother. Oh, we're really looking for something. This is like there were some like complaints in there that had hints of truth or were based in like a vague, valid criticism. But this is like you're just looking for something. This is like this isn't even remotely the intention. Like it's just like, oh, like she thinks like animals are interesting and adorable or whatever, and she's like hyper obsessed or hyper like interested in them.
And doesn't seem to let up after being told multiple times to back off. There are multiple promotional materials
just a
in which
quirky
she
character.
asks to touch a Melusine, which makes me think that it's happened more than once or twice. I mean, at least her character quest was.
Yo, Risley works in a prison, guys. He is a prisoner fetish. like what?
isn't as bad. I won't spoil it, obviously,
You
because
can
I
spoil
said
it.
I wouldn't talk about content past Luna 5, but I still don't find this character appealing or compelling at all, as I feel like I've made it very clear. She doesn't even have an interesting design to make up for it. She's literally just a copy-paste of
Nope. I like her design, actually. Unpopular opinion. I like her. I like the simplicity of her design, too, and that has the Mondstadt motifs.
Charlotte. Even the wish art is the same. I haven't felt such a burning hatred for a character in a long...
This is the hill we're dying on? Linnea? What? This is crazy. This is crazy.
long time. Hoyoverse had the opportunity to portray Linnea as a character with a disability that made it difficult for her to fit in, because that was largely the reason the myth of changelings arose in the first place. The fairies were thought to swap their fae children for a human child, which was how several mythologies explained neurodivergence in children. Instead of portraying a really heartwarming story about a character who's autism coded, we instead get a freak who can't stop harassing anyone with non-human features. Ironic, considering how they want to portray her as an outcast who had no friends because she was a fae who looked different. Also, can we talk?
I need a palate cleanser. Someone link me Nicole's teaser, please.
This was predestined. The future cannot deviate from this path.
And if the hands of fate choose to lead this world toward destruction?
Nicole.
Nicole. Nicole. The heavenly throne has deceived us. Our sovereign is neither all-knowing nor all-powerful. Nor are his plans without flaws. Let your heart guide the way.
Oh my gosh, chat, do you see the way all these people are looking at her? She has a leadership fetish. I'm sorry.
The world and fate can both yet be changed.
Okay. Back to our regularly scheduled program.
Talk about how her lore makes no sense because the Saritsa and the Fatui are meant to be hunting down fae and eradicating them, hence why Flynn
is
hides
this
his
music?
identity. But it's just completely fine that Linnea
It's adorable!
is outwardly a fae.
Dude,
Perhaps
her
even
trailer was so adorable.
more obviously so than Flynn's because she doesn't cover the wings on her head or her crystal markings. Whatever. I really hope people open their eyes to how terrible this character is. Sorry if you feel kinship with her. She is not cute. She is not funny. She has no appealing character traits. And there are far better characters out there whose stories are about yearning for acceptance.
Dude, you could have... Oh, brother. You could have like brought up a great valid criticism of Genshin that no one brings up is the fact that there's like 11 chibi characters and they're all girls. Like, we need chibi dudes or no more child characters, right? I feel like that's a huge valid criticism, but instead we're calling Linnea a pedophile. What? Like, what?
Anyway, back to the video. Before we move on to the last part, I feel the need to debunk something I've heard both in this fandom and in other fandoms with regards to sexualized character designs. She should be able to wear whatever she wants. It's feminist to let women express themselves how they want. Listen, I choose to believe that this argument isn't made in bad faith. It's more like people who say this have good intentions, but they don't understand what it is that they're actually saying. Yes, it's true that
I'm booting up Lovendy's face right now. I'm sorry.
women in real life should be able to choose what they wear.
It's a joke.
If they want to wear revealing clothing, that is completely their choice. However, these women are not real and do not have the autonomy that we do. They are purposefully manufactured to be bait for the male gaze. They are animated in revealing outfits and drawn in uncomfortable poses and written into compromising situations on purpose. These developers have control over how these women are portrayed, and they choose to portray them increasingly as vessels.
Nicole is amazing. Powerful, completely covered up woman. amazingly written. One of the greatest written characters. Trailer, amazing. Arlecchino, amazing woman. I know these are exceptions, but like we're pretending like this is like all designs is in this video. Arlecchino, amazingly written woman. Oh, such a good character. Such a good character. Such a good character. Hardly, not really any like obvious fan service besides just like generic stuff. I mean, these are just examples off the top of my dome. Navia. Her confrontation with Neuvillette, bro. Navia, one of the greatest written characters in the game. Phenomenal heroine. Phenomenal leader. Dealing with the loss of Silver and Malus and her family. Oh, such a good character. Where's some other examples here? Inefa. Amazing character. Not really. Well, I guess you could see. I guess people could say like fan servicey and anyway, you get the idea.
For hypersexualization, fetishization, and fan service. That is not feminist. That's not to say that Hoyoverse doesn't do this in their other games. Zenless Zone Zero comes to mind, but to me, at least, that game is honest about what it is, and it has been since the beginning. Boob physics and maid outfits and schoolgirl uniforms and all. At least over there, the fan service is a little more equally spread.
There's no way! There's no way! Equally spread in ZZZ. It's like a 20% ratio. The ratio's like 35% in Genshin. And we didn't even talk about it. Risley Alhaitham wasn't even mentioned. There is no way. She just said that it's equally
across the male and female characters. Genshin Impact still pretends that it's this grand world of exploration.
To be fair, ZZ, you Gunnar freaks. How dare you play Zenless Zone Zero? Freak Gunnar, freak goon? Gunnar McGoon goon? I know what kind of man you are. Or woman you are.
Was 4 years ago, while its writing and characters
wait,
what world of exploration, the male and female character.
Okay, sorry.
While its writing and characters grand world of exploration it was 4 years ago, while its writing and characters suffer. Expect visual upgrades like you've never years ago. Genshin Impact still pretends that it's this grand world of exploration it was 4 years ago, while its writing and characters suffer.
Oh, I'm about to have a hernia. Genshin is the best it's ever been. Genshin in the post Nodcry era. Nodcry's level of storytelling. This now is the greatest time to be a Genshin Impact player. Them bringing in character story quests into the main quest. Rerir Dottore actually having great villains in the quest. The thematics, the fights, the visuals, the thematics of Nodcry, the pacing is the best Genshin has ever been by a landslide. If you want to say Fontaine, if you want to say Sumru, that's fine. That's fine. If you have your favorites, that's okay. I'm just saying they have leveled up their storytelling insanely so. It's so good right now. The exploration is phenomenal. The Moon just released. The Moon. And it's amazing. The thematics of the Moon too. We're getting voiced world quests. Genshin is...
Expect visual upgrades like you've never seen before, all while we refuse to visually upgrade older characters because who gives a shit about them, right?
I mean, we should... aren't they going to? They're going to do that. But wait, you just said...
Or as we increase the shill for pay-to-win players, or for Miliastro Wonderland, which no one fucking asked for and no one cares about, and for hyper-specific gameplay mechanics.
There's a lot of people who do enjoy Miliastro Wonderland. I do think the hate for Miliastro Wonderland is overblown. People think it detracts from the main game, but when you really think about it from Hoyoverse's perspective, if you have one of the most popular gacha games in the entire world, you would never do anything to detriment the main gameplay experience, right? And so I don't think Miliastro is just additive, just like Genshin TCG. I don't think people overvalue how it affects Genshin's development cycle. I don't think it does.
for and no one cares about, and for hyper-specific gameplay mechanics that are incredibly team-limiting and rely on 2 or 3 limited characters to actually function, all while we continually offer less and less new map areas and free wishes each patch. I could go on forever about the state of this fucking game and how Hoyoverse doesn't. I think that's enough of that for now.
Okay. Now we're cooked. Now we're cooked, bro. Genshin is the greatest it has ever been. Now is the greatest time to play Genshin Impact. We have the most quality of life changes we've ever had. Sure, there's more we could get, which is fine. I will always advocate for, right? We have the most to do in the game, multiple in-game modes. We have free 5-star constellations you can get like every month. The storytelling in Genshin is the greatest it has ever been. The most consistently greatest it's ever been. It is so good. There is so much to do. The world quests are voiced. We're getting replayable permanent events, which we've asked for years. But the most important thing is the story. The storytelling of Nodcry is, it's so good. It is so good. It is, and I love the storytelling of other regions, but it has raised the bar for the entire game. I could say so much
About their player. Let's move on. After all
You
this
still play.
People are probably thinking, it sounds like this game is causing you lots of undue stress. Maybe you should just quit and play something else. Look, maybe you don't get what it feels like to invest 5 years of your life into a game like this, with ever-expanding lore and new characters being introduced all the time. I guess maybe I didn't know what I was getting myself into at the time, back in 1.0 when I first started out. It sucks to invest so much of your time into a game only for it to let.
How does she not have an issue with this? You know, like
Let you down. I'm not going to pretend that Genshin was perfect back then. There are so many weird, cop-outs that Hoyo pulls so that they can have sensitive themes in their games, but not actually have them. Like Bennett saying that he has multiple dads, only for you to realize that it's because he's been raised by many older men in the Adventurers Guild, not because he has queer parents. But the problems have only gotten worse with time. There are even more cop-outs, like Flynn's being a victim of suicidal ideation, but, he actually just went sleepy for a really long time. Or like Nicole.
Wait, so she did see Nicole's trailer and still made this video? Oh, there's no way! Oh, there's no way! Oh, there's no way. I assume Nicole wasn't released when this video was made.
Who is mute in name only. She just talks in people's heads using her magic so Hoyo can pretend that they have a character with a disability. Or like Nefer, experiencing racism at the hands of the academia, while having the palest skin you could possibly imagine. Regarding gameplay, as I said, the shill for current characters has only gotten worse with time, with boss enemies made specifically to be defeated by certain limited characters. Fontaine was the first region to introduce region-specific battle mechanics, Bond of Life, and Pneumosia, but it wasn't so completely baked into the combat like Night Soul or Lunar Reaction.
I mean, this is kind of the gated mechanic shields for some bosses is definitely annoying, and that's a valid complaint. I think it's crazy that Ino isn't able to induce lunar reactions. I feel like if you ever have, to be fair, do we have free-to-play options for breaking those shields? I'm not sure. I think so. I don't know.
You didn't need Bond of Life or Pneumosia to be anything in the game.
But at the same time, it's a way of diversifying gameplay. But I do, dude, anytime I saw a Night Soul shield back in the day, I was ready to end it all. But then again, that was the same thing with Dendro. There was Dendro, you need Dendro characters and stuff.
The Lord of Eroded Primal Fire weekly boss requires a character who can apply Night Soul damage. The Game Before the Gate is built for quick application of the Frozen reaction, which is the specialty of Skirk and Escoffier. It's unfair to people who aren't looking to pull every single character, like me, because I only pull characters I like, or free-to-play people who aren't looking to spend what could easily be hundreds of dollars on filling out their 5-star roster, also like me, because I don't have that kind of disposable income. Seeing Flynn's in that Nodcry teaser was a lifesaver for me. Holy shit, a beautiful 5-star man with a mysterious backstory who's actually part of the meta, and oh my god, Lowen too. That face card is diabolical.
There's no way we're not calling out, like, Lowen has a lot of fan service in the similar way she was complaining about other characters, which is fine, right? But we're saying we like Lowen? Like, the Flynn's thing was fine. Lowen's is crazy to say after what has been said in this video.
It's been so long since I've been excited about characters like this. Most of the time now, I'm just like, well, Nicole's not my favorite, but I guess I'll pull for her in the future if I...
It's a cool design, bro. You want to talk about a Nicole trailer?
have no other characters I want. Or, well, Lauma's design is pretty terrible, but I like her personality a lot. I guess I could get her if I have enough extra primogems. So yeah, that's a lot of flaws. But guess what, guys? Hoyoverse fucking got me. Almost 6 years ago now, Hoyoverse wormed its way into my brain
6 or 7
and put my mind in a Genshin Impact-shaped chokehold. At this point, I have so many mixed emotions about this game and its fan base. I love the beautiful fan art I see every day. I love the sense of humor that so many of these fans have. I love some of these characters so much, and thinking about them is so much fun, but sometimes I feel like the only sane person in any given comment section on the internet. Like, I'm the only person who sees this game for what it has become. People just refuse to be critical of this game despite enjoying it and knowing what it could be. It's a fandom and a community that I sometimes feel like I don't belong to. Like I should have left it a long time ago, and yet I can't stop.
There is a huge tribalism with, like, if you make a valid criticism about Genshin, it goes both ways, right? There's huge incentives that people make criticisms about Genshin that aren't true just for the sake of shitting on Genshin. And also, like, it's hard to have a nuanced conversation about, like, Genshin Impact's issues because people will pull you in both sides. But, like, if you truly love a game, there should be areas of it, like, you criticize, right? Because that's, like, what it means to be invested in something. Like, if you're listening to a critic, chat, and the critic gives, like, 5 stars to every single thing they ever, like, experience, you don't really trust that critic. Valid criticism from people who actually love the game is great. It's healthy for the game. And it is hard to have those discussions sometimes because just the internet gets so up in arms about it. But I don't know what I'm saying, so I'm going to hit play.
Playing it. Maybe it's an addiction, or maybe it's FOMO thinking about the upcoming characters I want to get in the future. Maybe I find the gameplay engaging. But ultimately, I think for me, it comes down to wanting to see where this story ends up, even though it continues to disappoint me the more the time goes on. I think Genshin set up a very strong emotional core with the missing sibling, and they strung us along just enough that I was invested, giving us hints of the sibling only a little at a time, all culminating in a quest called Bed.
Not to mention Nodcry, you talked about the siblings and focused on them multiple times throughout the Archon quest. You actually saw Dainsleif outside of the once-a-year quest, which is a huge improvement. Actually tying an overarching story to the local story of Nodcry is so good.
Time story a couple years ago, which is one of the only Genshin quests that's ever made me cry. I want to see the Traveler reunited with their twin at the end of this journey. I want to explore
Loki, Kari Bear, best Traveler, best Aether quest, better than Bedtime Story. Kari Bear Part 1, oh, so good. Shout out to whoever voiced the main Abyss guy. Oh my gosh, so good.
And Conria. Even though Alice's design ended up being a little copy-paste, I adore her and I want to pull her and put her in a team.
What's wrong with Alice's what? Alice looked great. Her personality was so good. To have such an expected character not be like a disappointment is so good.
With Klee and Durin. I want to see Dainsleif become playable and hopefully introduce a new element into the
Too much fan service. Too much emo boy fan service, bro.
gameplay. Who knows? Maybe Genshin will continue to disappoint me. Maybe there are no good villains left to meet, and maybe a playable woman in a freezing cold climate will be wearing a bikini. I'm still gonna be pissed about that. But it's quests like Durin's story quest, a beautiful tale of the devotion of motherhood and learning to make your own way in life, that give me very cautious optimism. I know that Hoyo is capable of amazing storytelling. That's what makes it so frustrating every time this game lets me down.
Oh my gosh,
But Hoyo,
bro.
you've still got me for
Go
a
to
while.
quest.
Nice going, you made me addicted to your game, but the good stuff is what makes me want to stick around for a while. Even if it's only to watch my favorite little guys run around in my screen.
The end. Alrighty. Well, that was fun. Oh my gosh, bruh. She has a second video. How long is it? Watch the follow-up then. We'll watch the follow-up. In general, after watching this one, let's watch the follow-up, bro. I've been saying my opinions the whole time throughout the video. To be fair, I like her. I like the design of her little chibi theme and the music she used in the video. W visuals. She kind of touched on a couple of valid criticisms, but just went like so far off the deep end on stuff that she immediately is like either non-issues, just a preference you could have totally shrugged off and still enjoyed the game, but instead we spent like 30 minutes talking about it. Complete non-issues, or stuff that like she kind of hypocritically just flips on later in the video, or with a different character, or with a different point. So it's a little rough. It's a little rough. I feel like she could have her same concerns with like she doesn't like the designs of some characters, but then like instead of talking about like she like anyway, let's watch the next one. In no way, shape, or form does those takes justify giving any hate towards her, though. You know, do not attack the individual. She's a person. And she kept her video up too after like getting like people were going at her, which is crazy. Death threats are never, if you are ever in a situation where you're telling someone to die on the internet, you are not a good person. The end. Full stop.
So this is going to be a sort of addendum to my Genshin video. I'm going to do very minimal editing here because I want to get this out relatively quickly.
Or you're a person who's making a terrible mistake. Like, if that makes sense.
It's already taken long enough. The thing I got the most backlash for by far was my thoughts on Linnea. I definitely want to apologize for the harsh tone I took when talking about her. I wrote that section in an angry state of mind, and I should have edited it to be a bit more objective.
Okay.
I understand that a lot of people think I'm ableist now because of the way that I spoke about a character that people feel is autism coded. Yes, I know that people on the autism spectrum may have a difficult time picking up on social cues or personal space, and that Linnea struggles with both of these. Yes, I know about special interests, and that Linnea's has to do with wildlife.
Hey, this is cool and all, but like, what happened to the music, bro? What happened to my Dragon Spine OST? I can't pay attention without it.
I never meant to diminish people with autism, and if I hurt you with my words, I'm so sorry for that. I just want to put my thoughts into a little bit more context.
I need visuals.
First off, I
have
went
a
to school to
pea-sized
become a
brain.
teacher. I have a bachelor's degree in early childhood education,
Oh.
so I'm familiar with different disabilities and what those look like for students. I knew all of this when I wrote the video. Though I'm not currently a teacher, I work with students at different ability levels regularly at my job. Linnea frustrates me as a representation of the autism spectrum because her portrayal aligns a lot with portrayals of creep or pervert characters in anime. The thing that bothers me especially is the grabby hands that she does in the trailer, which is why I put her on screen with this character from Ace Attorney, who is explicitly supposed to be creepy. That's something specifically I would want to see changed, because to me, it felt ableist to portray her with these predatory mannerisms when they could have just had her be fascinated with the Melu scenes without doing stuff like that. This comes down to agency. Like I said in the video, Linnea has no control over how she's represented because she's not real. I've literally had college professors hammer into my head that characters are products and reflections of their authors, and that they are not autonomous and should not be discussed as such. It's instead a reflection on Hoyo that they decided to portray.
It ain't that deep. I think sometimes in life you just gotta be like, it ain't that deep, bro. It was not, especially with Linnea, it was not that deep.
Her that way. Everything else about her, I guess I could take or leave. So that is what I should have said about Linnea. Again, I'm so sorry if my comments about her hurt anyone.
Ow.
I should have spoken with more tact and not used the harsh words that I did.
She better have a section in here where she apologizes for not mentioning Rear in the villain category. I better see. Oh, if she apologizes for not bringing up Rear as one of the greatest written villains in Genshin Impact history, and the fact we only got Rear in the last year, such a good villain. Such a good villain. Oh, the Rear Thelindis' stories, practically, we got our own Darth Vader. We got our own Darth Vader, bro.
Clearly, I have gotten lots of accusations of racism because of what I said about Natlan, specifically about thinking a gladiator plotline would have worked better than the canon plot. I think ultimately for me, this comes down to war not working as a divine ideal in concept, which is something I also said in the video, because gladiators was the first thing that came to mind as a way that an Archon could uphold war, just as the other Archons uphold their ideals.
Okay, I think what the internet, she's kind of responding to what the internet does, which is like, if you make a huge section of people mad, they're kind of going to attack you in every regard, right? She's not racist or ableist, chat. It's just like, was like not good takes.
Idea had nothing to do with the race or culture of the characters from Natlan, but I can see how it might have come off that way.
I don't know, Chad, do you agree with me or disagree?
And again, I'm sorry for that. A lot of the Natlan stuff, and also the stuff I said about Nefer, must be viewed in a historical context. Like at the end of the last video, I made kind of an offhand comment about how Nefer's plot about receiving discriminatory treatment by the academia kind of falls flat for me, and I realized after seeing a bunch of comments about that too that I should have explained myself more. I wasn't intending to imply that people with pale skin don't experience racism. That's of course something that happens a lot, but Nefer comes from an area in the game where mostly people with tanner skin live, and I know that it's implied that she's not actually from there, but I think the point still stands. In Nefer's story, she gets a chance to study at the academia, but she quickly notices that the assignments that she's been given are easier than her peers. It's obvious from the context clues here that the school sees her as less intelligent because of where she's from.
I think the big problem is she is promoting alcoholism by not calling out Granny, Sitlali, binge drinking. How are we not talking about this?
Life, of course. People of minoritized races, especially black and brown people, have been historically perceived as less intelligent than fair-skinned people. There are countless examples of these groups having their intelligence and humanity undermined through incredibly racist propaganda. It's the fact that they chose Nefer as the character to experience this story out of all the people who live in the desert who have darker skin is what makes it fall flat for me. I don't want the characters I like to experience racism in the game, but if Hoyo is going to try and tackle these themes, I want it to be respectful to the painful history that those themes are inspired by. Even though I'm explaining myself a little more clearly, maybe I'm still wrong. I just wanted to touch on that to make my thoughts more obvious, which I should have done in the original video. I also want to address my discussion of the fan service in the game. No, I do not hate revealing designs in principle, and it has nothing to do with the fact that I'm not attracted to women. There are plenty of revealing designs that I think are really beautiful and well done, and I myself enjoy dressing in cute little outfits that I think are really beautiful.
Oh, it's just the inconsistency, girl. It's just
beautiful and well done. And I myself enjoy dressing in cute little outfits, as you can see by the Sona design that I made that everyone hated. Again, it's partly
Why do
about
people hate
agency,
it? People are just looking for stuff to hate, bro. I like it. I like the design. Wait. Favorite movies. Let's see this. Severance. Oh my gosh, based. Hold up. This is good, chat. It's important to remember. It's important to remind. I mean, not me, because I know this, but it's important to remind the people of the internet. This is a real person. Ace Attorney, nice. Severance, based. Big Time Rush. Oh, okay. Lego Movie, Kiki's Delivery Service.
little outfits, as you can see by the Sona.
Oh, you listen to Green Day? Oh, you're done. Never mind, bro.
Design that I made that everyone hated. Again, it's partly about agency. Like I said earlier, I can choose to represent myself how I want, and this design is actually pretty close to how I dress in real life. But I have also had people coming after me for not taking fan service into account when it comes to the male characters because I didn't mention Lowen. First off, I wrote that video before all of that content came out. I basically only knew what he looked
What about Risley?
like, and I met him in Varco's Quest when I wrote the script.
If we don't mention Risley in the next couple of sentences, we're kind of cooked here, bro.
Had like 3 lines in that quest. The video took a long time to edit, so I couldn't keep up with all of the current content. But I also think it's important to give some more attention to the fan servicey elements of the male characters. Lowen enjoys combat and makes these crazy facial expressions when he fights. A lot of Flynn's dialogue could be interpreted as flirtatious, and even if it's not, his gentlemanly personality is fan servicey too. Linny wears garters and tights and stuff, and he also gives the Traveler a rainbow rose.
Oh,
Goro
Linny is so bad. I forgot about that. I didn't even think about that.
a dog boy with a crop top. You can see how it's usually something different with each character.
There's no way we didn't mention Risley still, bro. I'm not sure if it's intentional or not. It might be unintentional, but that's crazy.
But with the women, I feel like it's always the same and very surface level. She has bare legs, therefore she's fan service. She's a tsundere, therefore she's fan service. I don't mind if a character is fan servicey in principle. I actually said in the video that I wished Escoffier was more like Lowen in terms of presentation because I thought that would have been more interesting. But it gets boring to see it happen to every new character that they release. It seems like they're more concerned
Nicole?
lately with
Sabai? Arlecchino?
finding not so subtle ways to show more and more skin rather than what would look most interesting or best communicate who the character is. Or instead, they do what they did to Seat Lally recently and just reduce her to a childish simp who gets jealous when the Traveler hangs out with other people. If that's your thing...
I mean, it's funny. Like, it's not my thing, right, chat? But it's funny. And it's also, like, no character acts like that. It's good to have distinct characters. Like, some characters act like this. Some don't. Or no other character acts like this. It's cringe.
That's completely fine. We don't have to agree on this. I just find it frustrating knowing that Hoyo can write very interesting characters, but decides that writing stuff like this is more important. I didn't...
Brother, what are you saying? In the past year, we've gotten some of the greatest written characters in Genshin. And we're choosing to focus on Sitlali, who also has good written...
think it was misogynistic to point out that the women in the game are treated differently than the men.
Jet! Oh, we just had... Oh, Jet! Women who have explicit romantic... Jet? Wait.
Quite the opposite, actually. But again, maybe I'm the one who's in the wrong. And no, just because I think a villain is interesting does not mean I defend or condone their actions. Dottore is an interesting villain with interesting motives, but I obviously do not think that anything he did was right. Dottore isn't even
I condone Dottore's actions. I do. I love Dottore. I think we should send the children back to the mines to mine coal for our industry to defeat the heavenly principles. Why else do they play Minecraft? Why else do they play Minecraft? They yearn for the mines. Tutorial was speak your truth, John. Oh, I'm losing it, bro.
Characters or anything.
By the way, chat, that was sarcasm, my friends.
There's actually quite a bit I don't like about the way he's written, but people have always liked villains in other media, so I'm a little confused about where that particular...
Someone talked about Revere. I'm actually going to die. I'm actually going to have a hernia, and I'm going to bleed out.
...criticism is coming from.
But
I think that...
Do hernias bleed? Okay, never mind.
That's everything I wanted to say regarding the previous
I don't know what a hernia
video.
is.
I also have not been deleting comments as I've been accused by several people. I know you kind of just have to take my word for it, but there are over 7,000 comments on that video now, and a very large amount of them are negative. And that's aside from all the Twitter hate that I'm not looking at because I haven't been on Twitter in years. And
Girl, do not read the comments, bro. Do not read the comments. Do not check Twitter. It's just going to be disastrous.
Side note, it's been brought to my attention that someone on Twitter is pretending to be me. I genuinely cannot believe it's that serious. So if you see anybody called Candybbug on Twitter or TikTok or anywhere else except for Instagram or YouTube, that is not me. I haven't even really been reading comments recently because it's so overwhelming. I promise you, I do not have time to go deleting comments that disagree with me. If your comment disappeared, it could be for one of the reasons that I'm going to put on screen now. So thank you in advance for giving me grace with this video. I have other ideas for more lighthearted, non-Genshin videos as
Big time rush.
I will probably take a break from the game. After all that's happened, I honestly feel like I can't even look at this game the same way anymore. This fandom is so incredibly toxic, and I guess I was stupid to think that they wouldn't jump down my throat at every turn.
Yes, the fandom goes... There's a section of the fandom that goes far too far, right? And like throws every accusation at the book just because it is bad. It's bad. But at the same time, you also used rhetoric that they do. Like you used similar, very definitive, very accusatory rhetoric, right? You threw your hat in the ring, brother. It doesn't justify what they're doing. It doesn't justify it. But you're using that same, like, kind of, like, I don't know how to... It's like a radical rhetoric. Where it's like, this one character's design has destroyed the game, right? Like...
I'm also confused because some of you seem to think this is, like, a psyop. Like, I'm putting this video out for a reason or getting paid to do it, instead of it being a video that's not very good because it's my first one where I wanted to talk about my feelings about a game I liked.
Oh, Razor! Woof! Occam's razor is a principle from philosophy. Suppose an event has two possible explanations. Occam's razor says that the explanation with the fewest assumptions is usually correct. Another way of saying it is that the more assumptions you have to make, the more unlikely an explanation is. Occam's razor especially applies in the philosophy of science.
Or that I wanted to get it out before Snezhnaya so that my points wouldn't lose relevance, and because this game comes out with updates faster than I can keep up with, or because I made it about a popular topic so people get recommended it easier. Not everything is some kind of conspiracy. You can feel free to say how much you think I'm a waste of space or whatever. I'm probably not going to read it, to be honest.
You're not a waste of space,
DMs
bro.
Already, threatening me with violence or doxing or telling me to kill myself.
I've gotten a bunch of death threats too, man. This is always bad, bro. It's always bad.
Hence why, if you have tried to message me in the last few days, you haven't been able to.
Girl,
I just wanted to take a moment to
look at your
clarify some of the
DMs.
stuff in the video that drew the most negative attention, and that I wish
Take
I did
a break from the
better on
internet
looking
for
back.
a couple
That
of
video
months
was
for you.
rushed because, like I said, I wanted to get it out before Snezhnaya, but it took me so long to write and edit it that it probably wasn't even worth it in the end. But either way, I shouldn't have rushed through it.
I mean, 500 views are views, bro. 500K views. That's pretty worth. I mean, how much ad revenue you getting on that? 40-minute watch time? sorry.
So I'm sorry for that again. I don't know if it will help to make this, but I guess the least I can do is try and amend some things. Thank you again if you've said anything nice or if you've been constructive with your criticism. And I'm sorry my first ever video had to go this way. I'm sorry if your nice comment got buried by all of the negativity. Maybe I'll see you soon for a different topic, but I'm honestly not sure after the way this went.
Okay. Didn't really expect this kind of follow-up video, to be honest. She kind of misses the point of why she's getting reacted to the way she is, but that's okay. It happens. It's whatever. Death threats never justified. The amount of bullying is out of proportion on this person. Although it's like, it's an understandable reaction when you enter the ring of like public discourse. It's just inevitable, especially kind of the way she did. Doesn't justify it. I hope she's okay. I like that she likes Severance. It was messy. It was real messy. And yeah, I mean, I reacted to it the way I did. Am I glad I watched it? No. No, I'm joking. I'm glad to know. But when reacting to stuff like that, chat, you don't want to assume that the most negative intent, like with people, right? You want to give them the benefit of the doubt. Always understand there's a person behind what they're saying, even if you don't agree with what they're saying, even if they're not treating the topics they're talking about the same way, with the same level of empathy or understanding. Like, that's okay. It happens. The video made some valid points. It was just buried under all the contradiction and bring up problems that never existed, or like choosing to hyperfixate on like one specific problem that could easily be brushed off as a like, I don't really like that design. My message to her, girl, don't read the comments, bro. Just take a nice mental health break from the internet. Maybe if you have a good headspace, you could hear why people... I feel like she doesn't understand fully why. She still doesn't understand why people reacted the way they did and what the problems with her video were. But c'est la vie, mon ami. What can you do? There were moments she touched on actual, like, super valid criticisms of the game, but like not. It wasn't done. It could have been done a lot better. Anyway, all right. I wish her no ill will. At the end of the day, it ain't that big of a deal, baby. At the end of the day, oh. Now it's time to watch Peak, ladies and gentlemen. Dish returning to Genshin Impact. Yes!
Trying to pass it.
The queen is returned! Let me know what everyone, only talk respectfully in the comments down below in the YouTube comments. Let me know your thoughts. Only respectfully. I love you. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye!